Seattle Monday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Appreciate everybody tuned in. 2:01, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. All right, boys, we got to start off, of course, with the thing that everybody's talking about today.
Yes.
Nolan Arenado not in camp for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Thought he was there.
Yeah. Nope. Jeff Jones said he saw him there, teammate, but then he had to retract his statement. He did so on Twitter. So
Saw somebody that looked like Nolan
apparently,
Arenado?
yep. Apparently,
Already getting the off-brand Nolan Arenado?
apparently they're already getting the off-brand
Maybe
Nolan
that's,
Arenado. They're getting ready
maybe
to go.
that's
No, we got him.
It was Hellman.
Got an off-brand. Yeah, got an off-brand. No, we lead off the show with, of course, an absolute dismantling for the Eagles. Carey, I'm going to shut up. I will eat a lot of crow today.
Yeah.
I'll state that. I'll eat a lot of crow. But, Carey, you get first word on this. You absolutely nailed it, and you've been saying this for at least 3 weeks, but I feel like longer you have talked about the Eagles. But you had this calmness about you leading into the Super Bowl that you almost knew that exact game was going to happen.
Yeah, it's been brewing, and I've said this all season long about the Chiefs. They are not as talented. This is not as talented as a roster as they've had in years past. They have been getting by, and you mentioned it last week, that they have gotten by because of you have to play a perfect game against them. They're not going to mess up.
Check.
You have to play the perfect game against them. They're not going to ruin it. They're going to do their job effectively. But they ran into a team last night that had better athletes, that was better across the board at every position, except for maybe quarterback. But across the board, they were better at every single position. And I told you all last week, do not let Patrick Mahomes get out of the pocket. The first touchdown he threw to Xavier Worthy, where did he throw that ball from?
Out the pocket.
He was damn near standing on the sideline because he got outside of the pocket because Brandon Graham didn't do his job and allowed him to roll outside. And so that's the only way that they could beat you. If you force him up into the pocket, force him to be a pocket passer inside the pocket, your defensive ends get to his level, stop, and then retract, you're going to have a great day. And that's what the Eagles did. The drive that they scored on, that the Chiefs finally scored on, and I texted you all this, the defensive line is not rushing. That's what I was saying. They stopped rushing in the way that they had been all game because he had scrambled around a little bit and they got nervous. So they started doing what they weren't coached to do, like players do. Oh, I have to do something different. No, do your job. It allowed them to score, but they were so far up by that time that it really didn't matter. The Eagles kept scoring, and then on the next drive, play action fake. The other thing I told you was going to happen if you stop Saquon Barkley because you want to have 8 men in the box, good luck. You got two guys that can run, that are going to run, and I'll put my best receiver versus anyone's best corner any day. Cornerback is the toughest position in all of sports. You're running backwards. You have to stop. The guy that's running at you knows where he's going and you don't. You have to read and react. So if I run past you, good luck. You're so committed to stopping the run, which they did a fantastic job of. But Devontae Smith was able to run past the cornerback. You saw A.J. Brown take the top off a couple of times, got called for a pass interference one time. But those are the things that are going to happen when you have to be solely focused on stopping a great running back like Saquon Barkley. And the other thing they did, they got him involved in the passing game. It wasn't to the tune of the big pass like I thought it would be, but they were able to catch them out of sorts because you're throwing the ball to a running back that is elusive and electric and explosive and outside of the backfield as well. And you're putting a linebacker on him that is not going to be as shifty or as good as him in the open field. So everything that I thought that they would do, minus Saquon having a big game, and I told you all earlier, he missed some runs. I'm sure when he goes back and looks at that, he'll be very frustrated because he missed some he should have stuck his foot in the ground 2 or 3 times on 2 or 3 different runs, and he probably had 15, 18 yards there, which starts to soften up the defense. But that's exactly how I thought that game would go. You don't allow Travis Kelce, where's he going to be? 8 yards, 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. He's not running past that. He can't. Know where he
Even
is.
if he gets his head around. I mean, he was terrible.
Because he's not explosive enough to do all of the things that he used to do.
Yeah.
5 miles per hour.
I know where he is. I can get to him. I just have to get to him. And so if he's not able to make those plays, throwing the ball deeper means you have to hold the ball longer, which means defensive linemen have longer to get to you, have more time to get to you. That's a hard way to play football. And they had no running game all season long. So That's to a T, minus the Saquon Barkley having a big running game. That's exactly how I thought that game would go.
I thought the Eagles' defense was unbelievable, and to see after the game that they did not blitz one time.
Not once.
Not once, and to see all the pressure that Mahomes was under, just watching the game and then looking back at the stats and seeing that they didn't blitz.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that.
You don't have to blitz.
You don't have to blitz.
Yeah.
Like he
Not
was
when you're
under
winning
duress
your
the
matchups up
entire
front.
game.
They ran a zone blitz one time where down by the goal line where the Chiefs were backed up, Bond blitzed, and I think Nolan Smith dropped into coverage, but you're still only rushing 4.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a blitz. It's just you're replacing one person with another person.
Mm-hmm.
They're just swapping jobs. But the Chiefs had no answer because off of the edge, you got two guys that are going to have a meet at the quarterback saying, I'm sure they're in the huddle saying, who's going to get there faster? I'm going to beat you. I'll beat you there. I'll meet you there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll beat you there. And that's all they did. They were going and making him step up in the pocket. And you got Jalen Carter and you got Jordan Davis and every other defensive lineman in the middle. You can't see over them and you can't go anywhere else. There's no room to move around. And so the only thing you have to do is keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket.
Yeah.
It sounds simple, but teams have trouble doing it.
And speaking of blitzes too, we heard all week long about Spags and how he dialed up blitzes and whatnot. What did you think of Jalen Hurts and how he combated that?
I thought Jalen Hurts did a fantastic job. I thought the Eagles did a really good job, minus the interception that Jalen Hurts threw. It was a mess. It was a mix-up by the center. The center didn't do his job properly. Nick Bolton is standing right there. If the linebacker doesn't drop, you assume that he's blitzing. So you shouldn't turn your head to the left looking for anybody else because as soon as you turn, he's blitzing. He's going. And so you need to stay locked in. And with that pressure right in Jalen Hurts' face, he threw the interception. The touchdown, the pass that was called a touchdown to Jahan Dotson was a great pickup by them. You saw the two guys blitzing off of the slot, and you saw the safety starting to creep over. Based on where the safety is aligned, he's not moving for no reason. They're shifting. He's got to cover the receiver. And so both of those guys blitz. Saquon goes over, picks him up, and they hit Jahan Dotson on a stop and go for what should have been the first touchdown. He got his knee down on the one, and then they pushed it in. But I think everything that the Eagles did offensively was the right answer. And it's exactly what I would have done. You want to play 8 men in the box? Cool. I'll throw the ball deep to A.J. Brown. They missed A.J. Brown on a pass play where he came over and got frustrated, and Zach Bond got the interception the next play, and then he ended up scoring on the crossing route. But that play, that to me was just a mix-up between A.J. and Jalen Hurts. Jalen should have let him out there and let him throw. He beat the DB. He had already took the top off the coverage and beat him. Mm-hmm. And Jalen threw it behind him, kind of a back shoulder type of deal. It was an incompletion. But they played an outstanding game, top to bottom, start to finish. Everything they wanted to do, they did. And I wouldn't have bet any money that Kenny Pickett would have had a snap in that game. And he had a snap in that game.
He got hurt, yeah.
It was just, for me, it was outstanding to watch.
Look, Carey, you nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. You nailed the entire week. You nailed the game plan. You nailed the last 2 weeks. I mean, you crushed it. You crushed every single aspect of that game. I've gotten a lot of things wrong. I've gotten a lot of things wrong. I don't think I have ever gotten that much wrong. I mean, some of it you commit to the bit, right? Like, you got to go over the top. What? I did not see that happening at all. I was 1,000% wrong on the game, one being close, coming down to the last snap. The Chiefs being able to overcome anything that was thrown in their way. I guess I was right in some respects. You got to be perfect to beat them. The Eagles were perfect. I was wrong about Hurts. I was wrong about damn near everything. I really was. I was, except for that one thing, Anthony. One thing. I said, watch out for Cooper DeJean. Yeah. And he had a pick six. Now, unfortunately, I was kind of right about the wrong thing. Sometimes you fall backwards into that. But no, I was dead wrong. Carey, you were at 1,000% right. Congratulations. I'm the Italian off-brand. I'm the Italian version of Olive Garden nuts and Nick Sirianni. I apologize to Nick Sirianni. I'm sure he's listening today. I was wrong about him never winning a Super Bowl. Just dead wrong and everything. One of the things I think will be overlooked is how well the Eagles adjusted to Saquon Barkley being shut down.
So here, and I don't want to cut you off, but they ran the ball 25 times, and that was one of the other. He ran the ball 25 times. That was the other thing that I said, that if you're going to beat the Chiefs, keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline.
Yep.
They had like 14 yards in the first half, like in the first quarter. Like
first quarter, would the Chiefs have like 3 minutes of time of possession?
They didn't. They were unable to have possession of the ball because you're running the ball. You're not running it to the tune of 150 yards by Barkley, but you're running the ball enough to keep that man standing on the sideline. Right. You're wearing down the defense, and it was just it was a great job.
The Chiefs didn't make it past midfield until
the third quarter.
Was it the third? I thought it was the fourth. No, I guess it was the third.
It was the third. It was the third quarter that they got past midfield.
This was not good enough.
This was about the Eagles, period. The Eagles dominated. The Eagles were incredible. This was not, to me, it's like we almost cheapen the Eagles' victory if we talk about the Chiefs at all. Mm-hmm. There's no adjustment to be made when you're losing all of your matchups. And the Eagles beat. The Eagles won every single one of their matchups last night. Every single one. They were incredible from start to finish. And the one time where, they had the A.J. Brown questionable pass interference call, they probably score then. And this might be even worse. It was a perfect game plan all the way through by the Eagles last night. And circling back to it, I know they stuck with the run. Kansas City did one thing well last night. They had a game plan for Saquon Barkley. That was it. But the Eagles adjusted. Carey, to your point, you brought this up consistently. If you slow us down, we'll take our chances on the outside. How about the one, I think it was to Devonta Smith, where I forget, Carey, you would know what the concept is, but it was like a 3rd and 8. Mm-hmm. And Jalen Hurts knew exactly how Kansas City was playing it. It was like a mix of zone and man. And they threw it 6, knowing he'd pick up the extra 3. I can't remember if it was Smith or Goddard.
Was it the one that he fell backwards into a first down?
Yeah, maybe that was
that was Smith.
Threw it 6. Yeah. I forget what the concept's called. The passing concept is called.
I had to see it. I can't remember that specific play.
It was a perfect call against that exact coverage. And the Eagles, it was almost as if they were looking at the Chiefs' game plan during the game. Like Fangio, that's how good Fangio was. He's like, oh, okay, I know exactly what you're going to do here. But even certain concepts are like, all right, I'll throw it 6. I know he's going to get 2 here because of the coverage you're in. It was brilliant, man. The Eagles were brilliant last night.
I would say we often talk about the genius that Andy Reid is. I would give him, I would ask him why didn't he stick with the RPO? Because the first couple of plays of the game, you ran an RPO to Juju Smith-Schuster, you picked up a first down. The Eagles defense is flying up, and you were able to hit him right behind. Then the next play, you throw it out to, I think it was Worthy or Brown, and the corner made a good tackle. But you're one-on-one with the corner. You'll take that every day of the week. Mm-hmm. I would ask him why he got away from that, because it seemed to be working. Now, in order to have a successful RPO, you got to run the ball. But which they obviously couldn't do either.
They didn't even half the time. They didn't even try.
There is nothing when you have a defensive line. I say this all the time. When I was coaching high school, and people, I got a kid that wants to come to Central. Okay, what position you play? Oh, he's a skill guy. I don't give a damn.
Yeah,
I don't care. Oh, he's 6'3". When will he be here?
6'3", unless it hit people.
How soon is he enrolled? Does he need help to pick? Right? Do I need to pick him up and make sure that he need to feed him?
Yeah.
Because whatever I need to, because that's where the game is won. The Eagles won that game in the trenches, up front. Those 4 defensive linemen were able to do everything they wanted to do, and Kansas City was not.
Good Lord.
We got a text from 618. Who cares?
We do.
Fella, you're in for a good show.
Yeah. Sorry, man. We're going to be sticking with this for the rest of the show here, for the most part. For the most part. And then, we'll transition tomorrow. That should be fun. Talking about, Cardinals.
Yeah.
And stuff. Technology and stuff. Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh, man, I'm going to miss football. All right, so Carey nailed it. Absolutely crushed it with his breakdown here. Has the NFL GOAT conversation been put on hold for the time being? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. The Missouri Valley Tournament, the conference tournament, is coming to St. Louis. We got Arch Madness March 6th through the 9th. They've got a great deal going on, too. It's the Family Fun Pack. It's $104, and for that, you get 4 single-session tickets, 4 large sodas, and 4 regular popcorns. Again, the Arch Madness Tournament, March 6th through the 9th. They've got 6 different sessions starting on Thursday, March 6th, and then through Sunday, March 9th, and that day will be the championship game for the Arch Madness Tournament. But it's one of the best sporting events throughout the course of the year. It's always a lot of fun. If you've got a family that enjoys college basketball, maybe you're an alum of, I don't know, Illinois State or Missouri State or Drake, who's in first place right now in the Missouri Valley Conference, or Bradley, who's fairly close as well to St. Louis. When it comes to, and I'm talking about relatively close, but when it comes to the Missouri tournament, the conference tournament, it's always a lot of fun. I remember being at the Enterprise Center a couple of years ago where, it was a back and forth matchup that it came down to, it was a buzzer beater, and I was there, and the excitement throughout the stadium was outstanding. So go see the Arch Madness Tournament, March 6th through the 9th. Family Fun Pack, 4 single session tickets, 4 large sodas, and 4 regular popcorns to the Arch Madness Tournament. Again, one more, March 6th through 9th. you heard the Fox guys on the coverage last night as the Eagles throttled the Chiefs. It was nasty, man. Entertainment, from an entertainment standpoint, I'm sure, Carey, you watched it and you were feeling it. You loved it.
Thrilled.
If you're an Eagles fan, you're thrilled, obviously. But from an entertainment standpoint, it's brutal. We'll get into that a little bit later on. But there seems to be this notion, right, that the GOAT conversation needs to be put on hold. Stephen A. was talking about it, apparently. Some other national hosts were talking about it. And the one thing that everybody keeps coming back to, of course, is that Tom Brady his 3 Super Bowl losses were all close. Hell, I don't think the Patriots punted against the Eagles when they lost to the Eagles and Nick Foles. Mm-hmm. The other 2, you had you had Mario Manningham, and then you had David Tyree.
Right.
And not to mention one of the best defensive lines in NFL history, beating him. But those games were close. Mahomes, 3 Super Bowl victories and 2 blowout losses. Mm-hmm. And, of course, it's the Chiefs with the 2 blowout losses, but everybody's going to kind of cite Mahomes in that. Carey, where do you fall on the conversation about the GOAT? Do you pause it, or do you just say, no, this is just going to be another added hurdle for Mahomes, whose resume is far from completed?
Yeah, it's far from complete. He's 20. He's not even 30 yet. 29.
He's 29.
Yeah. So you are a young man still in the game, and he's got an opportunity to do great things still in his career. The whole GOAT conversation on who is better or his career isn't over yet. And I've never been a person that solely bases being the GOAT on how many championships you have. I don't think that, because winning a championship is a team game. It's not him by himself. It's not like I'm Usain Bolt and I'm the fastest man in the world, or I'm Michael Phelps and I'm the best swimmer to ever get in the water. Like that's an individual sport. That's when you can say you're the greatest Serena Williams, right, the greatest tennis player. Like, you can say that and not have any pushback, because they don't play with other people. They're by themselves. So for Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, when you're talking about the greatest player of all time, or the GOAT, the greatest athlete of all time, or whatever you want to call it, is who. It's not just based off of that, in my opinion. It's not just based off of who wins the most championships. Mm-hmm. It's about a team game. So it's for me, it's just about, at the end of the day, who is the better player. And in my opinion, I've said this time and time again, to me, the greatest quarterback of all time is Peyton Manning. He only has 2 Super Bowls. He lost 2, right? It's not, but it's subjective. It's your opinion. It's who you believe. It's not about the championships, because it's a team damn game, and I can't win a championship just because I throw for 400 yards if my defense gives up 55 points. Mm-hmm. So I don't think Mahomes is done in that conversation yet. I don't think just because they lost this Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes didn't play defense yesterday. He didn't play offensive line yesterday. It's a team game. He needed help from his other people. He didn't play tight end yesterday.
He didn't not call runs.
He did not call runs, right? So it's a lot of pieces that fall into this thing that allow it to be a championship team. And the Chiefs were not a championship team yesterday. The Eagles were.
Does the conversation need to switch then to Andy Reid versus Bill Belichick, and how we look at those 2 coaches in terms of who could be the greatest? Wow. No, because I still think we can have both conversations. Because we can't. Look, Marsh, you sent us all a text last night, and you did this early. I'm going to give you a lot of credit for it, because you were absolutely right. And the game played out this way. But again, you said it in about the first quarter, maybe early second. You said this game feels like the Tampa Super Bowl, the Tampa Kansas City Super Bowl. The way it was playing out, where Mahomes didn't have time, there was no adjustments being made, and it wound up being just a thorough ass kicking. Mm-hmm. And you were right. You were 100% right on that. What happened after Mahomes and the Chiefs lost that game? Oh, they went on to, they lost the AFC Championship game, and then they went on to win 2 Super Bowls and make 3 in a row. Exactly.
So we can't say that it's paused. This is all part of it. Mm-hmm. There was a time where we were saying, well, Tom Brady, Joe Montana didn't lose any Super Bowls, so how can Brady be the GOAT? Well, once Brady surpassed Montana by, a sizable margin, the conversation was over. You looked foolish if you brought it up. at some point, Mahomes will have to do more now. You lost to Brady. You've got 2 blowout losses. That's got to be factored in when you're talking about like the quarterback GOAT. But ultimately, it just means he's got a lot more to do, a lot more to accomplish. Doesn't mean everything's paused. This is all part of the journey.
I do think we're when we look at this, at least how I view it is, Brady went 3-2 in the Super Bowl, long pause, went back to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah. And then won, but within those, 10, there was 10 years where he never won a Super Bowl.
Right.
So I'm wondering, obviously, we'll get into this later.
The good days, the good times.
For other teams in the league, yeah.
Unless you're a Patriots.
But I wonder if this is the part now where Mahomes takes a break and we see some of these other quarterbacks sort of step up and have their time, and then Mahomes waits X amount of years before we actually see him get back to the Super Bowl. I feel like sometimes we take this stuff for granted. There's a chance we may never see him in the Super Bowl again. I'm not saying that it's
unlikely, but I understand what you're saying.
Unlikely, but there's a possibility, right?
No
Who's to say he plays as long as Tom Brady does?
Right.
Who knows? So I think to your point, Carey, it is a team game, and it's tough because I thought both losses were on the offensive line.
Right. And
that's how I'll remember it. I won't remember it as Patrick Mahomes played terrible. I remember it his offensive line let him down.
Mm-hmm.
Which means you got to go back and fix some things in order to get back to that level. And that's part of the reason why I said all year long, to me, the Chiefs they weren't the best team. They were able to win games, but they weren't the best team all season long because of just glaring issues that they had. Whether that be now next year they'll get Rashee Rice back. Mm-hmm. Jawan Taylor probably won't. You gotta
upgrade
as an offensive lineman for them. You put Tooney back inside, which shores up. You got Creed and you got those guys Humphrey and you got those guys in the middle. Mm-hmm. That makes life much better inside. But then you still got to figure out the 2 tackle positions. I think they can be better next year. They still got to figure out the running game. Is Pacheco the guy? Kareem Hunt, he don't know how much tread he has left on the tires, but I think getting Rashee Rice back healthy, Hollywood Brown for the entire season, you got some pieces there. I don't know what Travis Kelce does because again, he looks a little older.
Yeah.
He looks a little worn down, and he cannot run past you. So you don't have to worry about that threat. You take one thing away, it makes life easier for me. But I think the Chiefs will be back, and I think he'll stay in that conversation. But for me, being the greatest quarterback of all time, it's the championships and it's MVP awards. It's being the best player on the field, which is why I say time and time again, Peyton Manning, 5-time MVP, is the greatest quarterback that I've ever seen because he was able to – now, he didn't have the success in the playoffs that Tom Brady has, but he was able to lead a team in the manner in which he was and be the best player in the league 5 times in his career. Mm-hmm. So, for me, that's why he would be the best one.
I think with the Brady thing, too, you look at some of his Super Bowl wins, and a lot of it came from other people. He doesn't get the win if Malcolm Butler doesn't make a play at the goal line. Mm-hmm. They win against the Rams, 13-3? Not a great...
You're talking about Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I think the one that really stands out is the comeback against the Falcons.
And that hurt. I think that hurt Mahomes last night too. So you have Tom Brady.
Good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have Tom Brady announcing the game. Everybody's talking. I mean, we were at a Super Bowl party last night. Shout out to our friends Nish and Bob. But everybody's looking at me like, well,
I didn't want to bring it up, but I had to.
Mahomes. There's been a Super Bowl in the recent... Yeah, shut your face. But I think it hurt him. I think it hurt Mahomes last because you got Brady sitting there. We all know the 28-3 story. Mm-hmm. End of the third quarter, all that. It's 25, and it's 24-0 at halftime. And what happens, it comes out in the second half, and nothing really changed. Mm-hmm. So I think that kind of hurt him from a legacy. That 28-3 comeback, I mean, I think that did it for a lot of people who are like, oh, crap, okay, yeah, you're the GOAT,
Does Tom Brady do that against this Eagles defense?
No.
Nobody was beating that team last night.
No, they were incredible.
Nobody was beating that team last night. That's why I said I do not want to cheapen the Eagles' performance last night by spending so much time, talking about, Mahomes did this and that. And look, man, the Eagles were the far superior team last night.
Yeah, I think they won 17 of their last 18 games.
Yeah.
Like one of the games they lost was Jalen Hurts was hurt, if I'm not mistaken. Like,
Yes. It was the comeback. Washington came back against them in the game that he got hurt.
Like it's that team.
They shouldn't have lost to Atlanta week 2.
No, like they should have. That team was outstanding all season long,
And they got better.
Yeah. And all people would say, "Well, Jalen Hurts can't throw." Okay, well, when the time comes, he will.
He was on fire last night.
He had his best 2 games.
Yeah, he did.
In the final 2 games of the season.
You're right. And he won. And look, man, nobody can ever take it away from him. You're a Super Bowl champion. And he was on fire. I mean, even the throw to A.J. Brown, I got called back because of the pass interference. That was spot on. That was a dot that he threw. Yep. He did everything he needed to do last night. Nothing more, nothing less, and he gets to be a champion. We will have a Jalen Hurts conversation at some point. But Marsh has got what's trending for you next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. They defeat the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22 in Super Bowl 59. We'll talk more about the Super Bowl throughout the remainder of the show. But also, the Blues over the weekend defeated the Chicago Blackhawks in a interesting long shootout. 6-5 Blues win. They'll have a little break for the Four Nations, and then they'll get back at it on February 22nd, taking on the Winnipeg Jets. If you miss anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We have What's Trending coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Topics in the sports world.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, we don't talk basketball all that much, but we have in the past few weeks because of the Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis trade. I want to ask you guys a question. Because Anthony Davis is out multiple weeks already with an adductor strain, I believe he played one game for the Mavs, and then it was a non-contact injury, so he will be out for a few weeks. Have the Dallas Mavericks already lost this blockbuster trade?
Yeah, I would say so. Although you knew what you were getting with Anthony Davis, who is never healthy.
You know what his nickname is?
Unibrow.
No. Well, that's one of them.
Street clothes.
Street clothes.
Because he's always in street clothes.
Anthony Unibrow, street clothes Davis.
Yep.
I'm surprised you didn't go that route.
Who?
You.
What's that?
Anthony Davis. Call yourself Anthony Davis.
He wasn't alive when I was doing that.
But now.
I'm Carey Davis. I'm good. He wasn't born until 93. Stopped calling myself Eric in 92.
I guess we're just gonna have to see how this plays out with Luka, but Luka's likely to be back tonight. He's questionable, and you brought up a great point about him and LeBron, and the Lakers not playing defense. But we know what Luka Doncic is going to bring to that team. I mean, there's going to be plenty of offense. You're going to have to win games, in shootouts, but you know what you're going to get.
They're going to play. They're going to run. They're going to score a lot of points. He's going to score a lot of points. It's going to be interesting to watch. Like I said, him and LeBron play together. That's going to be fun to watch and interesting at the same time. Who's ball dominating? Who's dominating the ball? And who's passing the who's not passing the who? That's going to be the interesting thing to see. They're not going to play any defense, but that's just it is
defense
what it
optional.
is. Yeah, it is what it is. But the Lakers do play the Mavs, I think, December 25th, which is not December, February 25th, which is obviously not as good a game if Anthony Davis isn't playing. But I don't
figured
know.
he wouldn't though.
Yeah,
so.
they probably thought so.
Yeah,
he's we'll see. I think I thought the Lakers won the trade regardless of if Anthony Davis is healthy or not because they got the better player. Now can they get that better player to do all of the things that are required to win a championship? He took the Mavs to a championship last year and were unable to win it. But he is so talented that, the Lakers are set for the next 10 to 12 years with him, being their guy.
No doubt.
Well, Carey's been right about virtually everything these days.
Yes, he has.
He was right about the Eagles stomping on the Chiefs.
Yep.
And Anthony, I think he might be right about Mizzou basketball. They fell this weekend to Texas A&M, 67-64 the final, and that comes off of the Tennessee loss, 85-81 earlier last week. Does this change your mind about Mizzou basketball? Because it sure probably doesn't change Carey's mind.
Well, no, it's certainly not going to change Carey's mind. He has felt that Mizzou is, fine. Fast lane fine. So this does nothing for him. Look, they were down by 9 at halftime. Won a great game. Tough opponent, but certainly not Tennessee on the road. And, their offense unfortunately stunk.
In fairness,
Didn't make enough shots in the second half. Kind of made it, they made it interesting, but wasn't a good look.
In fairness to me, I have no joy in watching Mizzou suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like something I wake up and I'm thrilled by. I just say what I see.
Just go ahead and tell the truth for once.
Nah, I'm telling the truth. I paid Mizzou a lot of money, man. I want those people to do outstanding. I really wish they would give me some money back, but seeing as how that's not going to happen, I wish them well. Go Tiger. I want them guys.
Still not saying the right Tiger.
A tiger's a tiger.
No.
It's a Go Tiger.
There's a difference.
Ed. Guy named Ed said that all the time.
Whether it's Tiger Woods, Tony the Tiger.
See, all of them.
Tony the Tiger definitely doesn't say "Go Tiger."
Yeah, he does.
says
Go Tiger.
they're great.
Not
That's
talking
what
about
Tiger
the Mizzou
says.
Tigers, though.
Wow, Carey.
Oh, man.
Hey, you're live
That
on
was
one
funny.
game, huh?
Yeah, ILL.
There you
Those
go,
guys, It's tournament time, man, and we're right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
We got to be peaking. You don't want to peak too soon. That's what Mizzou is doing. They don't want to peak too soon. That's why they've kind of taken a step back the last couple of games. You don't want to peak too soon.
Don't patronize the fine folks that are
I'm
Mizzou
saying
fans.
you don't want to peak too soon.
Okay.
I think Mizzou's fine. I think they'll be saying peekaboo, and they'll be right there in the tournament.
There you go.
Okay, yeah.
Peekaboo.
Yeah. I like that, Marsh.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff.
It's a little reference to the halftime show last night.
I missed it.
You missed the show?
Not only the reference, but the show.
Oh, Anthony.
I saw the people coming out of that car there.
They were piling out.
Got the first
Few minutes?
few minutes.
Few seconds?
And I turned to talk to somebody, and then I went and turned back. It was off. It was already done.
At least you're consistent. You don't watch the halftime
I typically
show.
don't. No.
You don't?
No.
Typically don't.
Good time.
I know that that's not the halftime show is typically not my music. Whoever the performance is, it's typically not my brand of music.
Well, SCA was.
Okay.
Did you guys like any of the Super Bowl commercials? I know you sent one. It was after the
It
game.
was after the
but
game.
The Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
Everybody go fast lane themselves.
Yep. Love hurts.
Yeah.
Like, I thought
You
that
liked
was
that
a
one.
really well, yeah. Because, people talk about, he can't throw, he can't do this, he can't. And people will always tell you what you can't do. And
Until
then
you do it.
And you get to just say, hey, I'm a champion.
Yeah.
You can't do this, you can't do it, but I'm a champion. And a Super Bowl MVP. All the things you said I was unable to do. And for that young man, for me, as I said, I've never met him. I do want to meet him. I think he's probably one of the hardest working, just positive mindsets. He won a national championship in a game that he was taken out of. First person to congratulate the backup quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, that came in and took his place, went to Oklahoma, had a successful career, went and got drafted, and he just goes about his business, man. Doesn't complain, doesn't cry and moan and talk and just, okay, you don't think I'm good enough, I'll show you.
Yep.
And that's kind of been his motto his entire career. And I think it's awesome.
I agree. And we'll get into Jalen Hurts a little bit. I didn't hear a lot of because I was at a party, so I didn't hear a lot of the commercials. One that did get me, once we got home, because we really didn't need to stay the entire time because the Super Bowl sucked. But when I got home, the alien got caught in the doors.
I didn't see that one.
I think it's Doritos commercial or something like that, where the alien, the doors closed, they're saying goodbye. Like there was a family or something. I don't know. And there's kids there and stuff. And the alien was saying goodbye, and the door slammed on them.
Oh, I missed that one.
They're like, oh
no.
I think it killed them.
Do you guys see the
that sounds funny.
the Budweiser commercial? I know a lot of people in this town, probably care about the Budweiser commercial with the Clydesdale.
Took the keg all the way to the bar. I did see that one.
Yeah.
Thought that was interesting. Didn't know how he got there. Did he have GPS? Maybe he just been on that route plenty of times. One of the kegs fell off of the cart and he just hopped the fence and rolled it all the way to the bar.
Yeah.
It's dedication.
Now, they didn't give him a beer, which I thought would have been better.
Oh.
But, he did all that work.
Rusty, first of all, Rusty, let me give Rusty credit here in the snake pit. Rusty said pizza rolls. That's what it was. It was a pizza rolls commercial. The water boy goes, that alien was sick. Anyways, all right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Jalen Hurts, let's get into him. Jalen Hurts, does he deserve to be in the same tier as the other active elite quarterbacks following last night's victory? That's next on 101 ESPN. Marsh just played the pizza roll commercial and he laughed too.
Arcanitis, that's a part of life.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Jalen Hurts, does Jalen Hurts deserve to be in the same tier as the other active elite quarterbacks? Marsh, one, I was wrong about Jalen Hurts throughout the course of the year. Carey, who was spot on about the Eagles, not only for the Super Bowl, but throughout the season. I think Carey kind of said it right. He said it perfectly. When Carey, you're talking about Jalen Hurts, he knows what he's got to do to win a game. That's it. Will he ever be somebody that's consistently in the same category as Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson? Probably not. Like that level of elite, I don't think Hurts gets there. But, and Marsh, I was telling you this before, and Carey, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. But Jalen Hurts, to me, what he did last night was kind of like prime Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson managed the game against the Broncos, won it. Played well enough to win the game against the Patriots, and didn't because they didn't run the ball and the Patriots just made, Malcolm Butler made an unbelievable play, right? But he played well enough to win that game. I thought Jalen Hurts was right in the middle last night. He played exceptionally well, more so than just managed the game. More so than what Russ did against the Broncos. I thought he's been between what Russ did in his Super Bowl loss and what he did in his Super Bowl win. But ultimately, I think that's kind of where Hurts is. And we loved Russell Wilson. We thought he was an excellent quarterback, but I don't think we ever considered Russell Wilson in his prime to be one of those elite guys like Brady, Manning, etc. That's where I'm at on Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever be, even if he's, because this team, in my opinion, is poised to have a run here in the NFC where they can continue to be in NFC championship games. And I mean, last year was, they started out so well and then they just stunk down the stretch. But to be in 2 Super Bowls out of 3 years with the potential to go back, quarterback is already paid. You got most of your skilled guys already paid and returning. Your O-line, D-line pretty much set. Like you're in a position where this team could be back in the NFC Championship game next year.
No question.
For 3 of the next 5 years, something like that, with an opportunity to make it to a Super Bowl. So if he wins more Super Bowls, is he in that conversation? I still don't think, and that goes back to my first statement, winning championships to me does not make you an elite quarterback. Terry Bradshaw won 4 championships. He had
bite your
15
tongue.
Hall of Famers on his team.
I forget sometimes you're a Ravens fan.
Yeah, I'm a Steelers fan, and I love the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
But Terry Bradshaw wouldn't be on anybody's list in terms of greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Sure.
But he's a 4-time Super Bowl champion, and you deserve that. You earned that. But it's because of the people around you. So if Jalen Hurts goes and wins, let's say he wins 3 Super Bowls. Let's say he wins 3 or 4. Right? Does that put him in that tier? No, because he's not a better player than Lamar Jackson, than Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes. He's still in a tier lower than, but he is in a tier, and Joe Burrow is in that tier as well. He's still in a tier lower than those guys, but he is in a tier probably higher than a Dak Prescott right now, right? Who is the highest paid quarterback in the league. He's higher than Tua Tagovailoa. He's higher than a lot of these guys that are under him because he is talented. Their talent level is probably the same, but he has done a little bit more than those guys. Being a second, finishing second in MVP voting, being a 2-time Pro Bowl, like he's done some really good things in his career.
I think the tier system could shift, at least for me. Maybe not so much like, is he a better overall quarterback than Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow or Josh Allen? To me, he's in the tier of one of 3 guys. He is one of 3 guys that has beaten Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the playoffs. And that's 3 people. And one of them's Tom Brady, and he did it twice.
Right.
The other's Joe Burrow. Like, to me, that's important because ultimately you can have all these awards and success and whatever, but like at the end of the day, he got the job done, right? Like he did something that Lamar Jackson couldn't do last year, that Josh Allen couldn't do this year. Joe Burrow did do it, but then didn't do it. Like, he's done it. Like, to me, that's important.
Yeah. Jason brings up a really interesting point in the snake pit. He goes, here's why this discovery gets murky. We continually say things like it's hard to win a Super Bowl without an elite quarterback. It's a really well stated.
Who said that?
Jason did.
No, I mean in life.
Discussion. He's not discovery discussion.
You can't win.
No, he says we continue to say things like it's. I think it's more. It's just more difficult to win without an elite.
Not if you got the Ravens defense.
Not if you've got a roster like the Eagles, but
the 2000 Ravens defense or the Eagles roster from this year. But Jalen Hurts is not an elite quarterback, but he's not a lower tiered quarterback either.
He's not a Trent Dilfer or a Nick
Foles. He's much higher than those guys because the thing that drives me crazy about when they talk about Jalen Hurts is, well, he's not an elite passer. He may not be an elite passer, but he makes up for that with his ability to run. So he's able to he has the same value or the same impact on a game based on yardage. If you throw for 300 yards and you're Patrick Mahomes and I throw for 250 and rush for 50, we both have 300 yards accumulated that we are responsible for, right? So I'm still having an impact. I might have one rushing touchdown and 2 passing touchdowns. I still am accountable for 3 touchdowns where you threw for 300 and you threw 3 touchdowns. It doesn't matter. It's still equal to being impactful in that game. And the way that Jalen Hurts does it is much different than some other quarterbacks, the elite quarterbacks that we talk about, the Joe Burrows, the Patrick Mahomes, but he's still making a huge impact on the game with his legs or with his arm.
Yeah.
And the best thing, I think, for the Eagles is the fact that he's not necessarily in this conversation because you don't have to pay him as much, but he still knows how to go out there and win football games. So you're not paying the guy as much as you're paying some of these other top quarterbacks, which allows you to put other people around him and pay them to ultimately have team success.
No question. Well, I will say this. And this kind of just puts a bow on everything. Nobody can ever say Jalen Hurts couldn't get it done. Forever, it is Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl winner. Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl MVP.
And he's a guy that you want to root for, too. You highlighted all the things in the last segment about, what he's gone through to get to this point. I mean, you can make an argument that if he doesn't go in that direction, that maybe he's not the same guy that he is right now. Like, it's all those different things that has led up to this point that has built him to be the person and player that he is. I think it's just a really good feeling, especially for him, and to have that moment with the Super Bowl last night. I don't know if you saw the video or picture. Like, that's just a cool moment. He also had like an unbelievable photo with the confetti falling down. That's definitely going to be an ad for Nike. Easy. But like, it's just a cool thing to see, and it's a player that you can really get behind, even if you're not necessarily like an Eagles fan, right? Like, if you're not an Eagles fan, you don't like the fans, whatever, like, he's a guy you can root for. Same with Saquon Barkley as well.
Yeah. Jason, just again, real quick here, leading up to this game, on this station, the discussion was, I just don't trust Jalen Hurts because he's not in the same discussion with Mahomes and Brady. With those guys, you know what you're getting. I've said it to myself even. Yeah, I think, and Jason, excellent points, man. I think that we know what we're seeing. We know what the differences are. You consume enough football, you know when a guy is in a tier or, category all to himself, and then when a guy needs some help, but ultimately when the chips are down, he plays out. He's not rattled. He plays outstanding. He's a great leader. Like, we know what the difference is ultimately. So I don't know. Interesting discussion. I don't know if there's kind of a capper to it all, but fascinating nonetheless. All right, there is one team that I hold responsible for last night. One team. We'll tell you who that is at some point in the second half. But was that the worst Super Bowl in ever, Bob? That's next on 101 ESPN. Fastline on 101 ESPN 306. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. We did get a question via the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646, asking if I am still a Chiefs fan. And the answer to that is no. After the Super Bowl, I did this last year. After the Super Bowl, I let go.
I think the bigger question will be is if you continue to be a Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
Even
Going forward, next
going
year?
forward.
They're my January and February team
Yeah, but let's
because
say
I'm a Falcon fan.
What if the Falcons make the playoffs?
let's say the Falcons
I'm
make
all in the Falcons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Until
Like
they're
you're
out?
not doing both, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, what if Atlanta loses in the playoffs? Chiefs, make it to the next round.
You know the answer to that.
Yeah, you will.
Chiefs, Falcons, Super Bowl.
Falcons.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a win-win situation for you.
No.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah,
Let's-
it actually is.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I will not play that. No.
Yeah.
Come on. Listen.
Sure.
We all do radio. We all commit to bits. Okay. But let's.
I don't know. I feel like you were really entrenched with this one.
Well, it's just nice to win.
Well, now your team lost.
I know. Let's see. Waterboy says the Falcons make the playoffs. LMAO. That's how I feel. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about the Falcons getting back to the Super Bowl. Anyways, my UConn Huskies lost on Friday night to St. John's.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a tough weekend,
We're
man.
having a tough. Yeah, we're having a tough time. Having a tough time.
Text from the 314 said, I hope CD been letting y'all have it because y'all were dogging him. You know, you were. You all were. You all called me crazy. You and Jamie kind of snickering, laughing at me.
Yeah,
telling
Anthony,
me
you and
how-
Jamie did that.
Yeah, I think Marshy was part of it too. You guys were like, what the hell does he know? Doesn't know anything. The Chiefs are the greatest team that God ever created. I was like, yeah, no, I don't think they're going to be able to pass the ball. I don't think it's going to be.
Guys, your offensive line sucks. You shut your mouth, CD. You don't have to tell what you're talking about.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes can do it. Yeah, not if he's on his back.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to throw the ball when linemen are bumping into you. I had to text her earlier, say that wasn't his fault. It was Patrick's fault that he threw the interception down there by the goal line to Vaughn. I said, so the left tackle bumping into him as he was stepping forward had no impact on that? Noogie. All righty, sure.
Just going through some of the. Never mind the fact that I have said the full first hour of the show how right you were and how wrong I was and how much crow I'll eat.
Thank you.
I also texted, congrats, Carey. I'll eat the crow tomorrow. It's
You
over.
did.
No chance of a comeback. Mahomes isn't Brady.
That was no. That what you were doing there was
Marsh,
that
tell
thing you
Rachel
were
I said
doing.
congrats.
Yeah,
Rachel is Marsh's girlfriend,
the
Eagles
thing
fan.
She
you
was
were
still
doing.
chirping you when it was like 40 to
You were doing that
6.
thing you do, you know.
Marsh responded. She said, knock it off right now. She knows what you're doing.
Exactly.
I said,
She even knows.
I said, what? This blank is over. Chiefs haven't crossed midfields. And then I said, holy blank, the Chiefs are blanking throwing this game. Blank me. This is a huge controversy.
Actually, for a second, I was like, are they?
kind of felt they weren't like they were. Let's see here. And then the Falcons, 28-3. Got all those text messages from you guys. Appreciate you. Let's see here. You were right, Marsh. This is the Tampa Bay game. Tomorrow should be fun. Well done, CD. All I've done
I
is
think
say
if you scroll
congrats.
back up further in the weeks, like a week ago, you might talk about how crazy I was.
I didn't call you crazy.
Yeah, what the hell he know?
No.
We did compare
Jalen Hurts
Mahomes
stinks.
to Kirk Cousins last night.
Which isn't fair to Cousins.
Wow.
That was the worst. That was the worst Super Bowl. One of the worst Super Bowls, just from an entertainment standpoint. So
I disagree.
Forget from an entertainment standpoint. That was,
I disagree.
that was an awful game.
For a football junkie like me. And not
Who were
because
you rooting for?
I was rooting for the Eagles, but
Thank
not
you.
because I said, not because all of the things that I said, because it was, because football is so simple and we make it so hard. Like, I'm not a fan of this person. He's a strange guy, Bruce Arians. He had a rule. You know, it's called the bunch of MFers rule, mother fast lanes. There's a bunch of mother fast lanes on that side. Don't throw it there. It's pretty simple. Like, it's throw it the other side.
Yeah.
Where we talk coverage and rolling and it. Football is extremely simple when you break it down and understand it. And for watching that game, the Philadelphia Eagles came out with a game plan and they executed it to a T. And the only time where they didn't execute it was on when the Chiefs were able to score. That first drive, they were able to score.
Yeah.
Second drive, they had backups in when Xavier Worthy caught the long touchdown. Like, I don't worry about that.
Yeah,
But
game was over.
That first drive that they were able to score on, it was because the Eagles didn't do their job. It wasn't – the Chiefs never at any point had any control of that game.
Mm-hmm.
And so – for me, when you're watching a dominating performance, Marshy asked me in the office, would you have rather, knowing you're going to win both, would you rather win like the Eagles won last night or win like we won in 08, 09, the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Man, even if I know I'm going to win, give me what happened last night.
Absolutely.
Man.
Yeah.
Every day of the week.
100%.
I can take if I can take my tape off by the end of the third quarter, hell yeah, I want that one. Yeah. So it may not, to some people, it may not have been as entertaining because you want the back and forth, but I thought it was a master class on how to dominate an opposing team.
I totally hear what you're saying. From a football standpoint, I do. But when you said, before you just said that, the masterclass thing about like, I know you guys probably wanted back and forth. Yeah.
Well, tell
It's the last game of the year.
Tell the Chiefs to block somebody,
We
man.
got nothing until September.
Tell the Chiefs to block somebody.
I can't tell them.
Tell them to change up their blitz schemes and that were evident the entire season, which I couldn't figure out why nobody was able to figure it out.
Like, give me a Notre Dame effort. Like, you're going to lose that game, but you made it something.
Right. Fake it.
Fake it.
Just give me a little. I know
they
you're
scored
faking.
3 times.
That game was... You know what it reminded me of? And I was texting BK last night, and maybe you will agree, maybe you won't agree, but I thought it was very similar to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup when the Blues played Boston.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of hype. It's a game that Blues fans will remember forever.
Yep.
It's a game that Boston fans, a.k.a. Chiefs fans, will want to quickly forget. And it's a game that the masses of the sport watching said game will just not remember.
Yeah, I could see that. I understand what you're saying from a national viewpoint. Obviously,
From a national
Blues,
viewpoint.
Boston different, but from a national viewpoint, yeah, Game 7, here we go.
There's a ton of hype.
And it wasn't that wasn't competitive.
The main
The
characters
Chiefs were not competitive. The Eagles took them behind the woodshed. I mean, multiple times.
Like, the main characters of the game weren't necessarily like the main characters. Like, Saquon Barkley was
Right.
fine. Patrick Mahomes, like, not good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just wasn't what the hype of that Super Bowl should have been.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like the first matchup. Like, that was a great game.
Oh, that was
38-35.
great.
It
Yeah.
came down, to the final play essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't live up to what I was expecting, and maybe I need to temper my expectations. But when you go in through a three-peat against a really good Eagles team, it's another Super Bowl matchup that we just saw. Like, you expect to see more than what we saw last night from an entertainment standpoint.
Absolutely. Look, CD, be honest. Any part of you think that was going to happen? I mean, total domination.
I didn't think it would be. I thought the Eagles would win very, like,
tight game.
No. I thought they would win by a score or two. Like, not a score or two. At least 2 scores. 10 to 14 points.
Okay.
I didn't expect them to be up. I told you I thought that they would be up 14-0 at halftime. That's what I told you when we were walking out on Friday. I didn't expect them to be up 24-0. So the extra 10 points for me is you're probably looking at a 30-21 score, in my opinion, is what I thought it would be. But to be up 24-0 at half, like, they did everything right.
Yeah.
The offensive line for Kansas City was atrocious. When you're looking at Jawan Taylor, who probably set a record for false starts in a season that weren't even called. Mm-hmm. He held. He was unable to block. He was unable to do anything effectively. But that's been all season. That's what he's done all year. So if I'm watching film, like when I watch film, like you sent the video of Tom Brady talking about how he gained his advantage from watching film. If I'm watching film, I don't care what the plays are. I care about the players. I want to know how this linebacker blitzes when he blitzes. Is he going to make me miss? Is he going to try to run me over? The ones that can do both, oh God, I'm in trouble because now I have to limit what he can do. If you only do one thing, I'm cool. if you're an offensive line and I'm a defensive lineman watching you pass set and you cannot get deep enough and I can beat you with speed, or it was one time Jawan Taylor literally, Brandon Graham almost picked that man up with one hand and pushed him back into the quarterback. Like, if I'm watching film and I see that, but you know who else sees that? The Kansas City Chiefs see it. And they allowed it to continue.
Right.
So when I'm watching the game, I'm like, they have no chance because of Philly's defensive line. That's why I asked you Friday, is this defensive line, is this defense better than the one that they had 2 years ago? And you said yes. Mm-hmm. Is the Kansas City Chiefs offense better than the one they had 2 years ago? You said no. Case closed. So for me,
I had the answers to the test the entire time.
You did.
It's almost like I had Chiefs blinders on.
You did. You definitely did. So
that's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I did say that.
You did. You agreed. And I told you, this defense is better.
And how they're going to win? I'm like, Mahomes.
How?
Boy, I was really short-sighted. I see the error in my ways now.
I think ultimately the Super Bowl will be pretty forgettable.
Yeah,
depending on what the Eagles do moving forward. If the Eagles go back-to-back or go on an extended run, then I think you look back and say, wow, they really dominated the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. But if, the Chiefs go and win the Super Bowl again next year, this will be another Tampa-Kansas City game.
Right.
Like, to me, it falls in the category of Tampa, Kansas City, Denver, Seattle.
Yep.
New York Giants and Baltimore Ravens, Buccaneers and Raiders, like at least in this century. And then go back even further, all the other Super Bowls in the 90s and maybe even in the 80s are all the blowouts.
Carey can have my back on this. You're 81, I'm 82. Mm-hmm. Late 80s, I might remember some Super Bowls, but really like the 90s.
Yeah.
When we started, when I could tell you like what happened in the game and stuff like that. 52-17, 30-13, 49-26. Oh, you got a good one. 27-17, Cowboys Steelers. Game one not close.
It wasn't.
If you remember.
No.
35-21, Packers over Patriots. Like most of the games weren't competitive in the fourth quarter.
That Cowboys Bills game. Did you get to that one yet?
The 52 to 17.
Oh yeah,
yeah, 52 to 17 at the Rose Bowl. I mean, they were awful. The games were absolutely awful. The first one that I was like, this is the greatest game ever. And I didn't like Elway, but Elway and Favre in that 31-24 game, that was like epic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the games were we've gotten pretty spoiled, I think, of late. There's been some bad games. Patriots and Rams 13-3. Awful.
Oh yeah, I didn't even mention it because it's terrible.
That may have been worse.
That's the worst.
That put me to sleep.
Like
I had 13-3.
That may have been worse because you knew
nothing is happening.
Yeah, this is like do something. The meme with the stick. Anyways, all right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Let's do a quick convo about what happened over the weekend with the Blues. So, Marsh, would you describe it in your update?
An interesting
shootout.
Long shootout.
Yeah. So they fall behind early, rally back, win in the shootout over the Blackhawks. Also, we got some news on Zach Bolduc that we'll get to and why maybe the Blues decided to make this move. So we're going to a little Blues next on 101 ESPN.
Radek Foxa in the 10th round of the shootout. Skates in on the Hawks goalie. Deeks shoots. Goal! Foxa tucks the backhander in like you're putting the baby to bed after a belly full of milk. Wow. Blues take the lead in the 10th round of the shootout.
That's an interesting call by Curbs. Putting the baby to bed with a belly full of milk.
Yeah.
That's true, though.
You got to burp them first, though.
You got it, yeah.
You don't want to let them down.
Yep.
You're never going to go to sleep.
You're never going to go to sleep.
Get the good burp out of them, Marshy.
Oh, yeah.
But when they do fall asleep, they sleep through the whole night, right?
No, Marshy. Unfortunately.
They do, yes,
When
they
they're
do.
10.
Perfect. That's all I needed to hear. They sleep 10 months old. They sleep through the entire night.
Marsh, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It depends.
Yeah, some kids.
Some kids.
Right.
At 10 weeks old, they're sleeping through the entire night.
I'd still laugh when going to see the pediatrician or something like that, and I think it was for Madeline, and they're like, you gotta wake her up. If she, for some reason, if she doesn't wake up, you gotta wake her up to feed her. I'm like, what?
Why would I do that?
Why would we do that? Well, they got to eat. They got to keep the weight up, whatever. I'm like, I can't. No. Didn't matter anyway. She was getting up anyways. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Blues win this shootout over the weekend against the Hawks. They were down 2-0 after the first period. They come roaring back with 3 in the second. Blackhawks, unfortunately, wind up tying it with 3 to the Blues, 2 in the third, but the Blues win in the shootout. Marsh, like I said in the tease, and you said in the update, you had said an interesting shootout. Was there a reason why you said interesting shootout?
Well, maybe because it took more than
45
3
minutes?
rounds. Yeah, no, I believe it was 10 rounds of shootout. And
these goalies did not want to give in.
It was either that or the goal scorers didn't want to score goals.
Either way.
But yeah, Radek Foxa scored the one that ended up winning it for the Blues, and I just didn't have that on my bingo card.
No,
I got a question. So you can only shoot one time. What if you run through the entire team? Do you start from the top?
I would assume so. I just
you can't shoot more
unfortunate
than
if
once.
that was the case.
The NHL figures this will never happen.
Until it happens. I think they were watching the Blues. They're like,
I think after I'd say 5 rounds, they should do what they did in the Olympics when TJ Oshie had his moment in Sochi.
Yeah.
And just put the same guy out there that can score. Now, none of them really wanted to score, but, but they got the win.
They got the dub.
So, Marshy, watching that game, there were 10 goals scored in regulation, right?
Yes.
And then you got the final goal. Would you say about 6 of those were I think the NHL should do points off turnovers. Like they do in the NFL.
You get extra?
Well, no, you get you keep track of points off turnovers because it felt like 6 of those goals by both teams were directly created from some sort of turnover, like just giving the puck to the other team and they going down and scoring.
Yeah.
And so I started thinking about it. Because the Blackhawks they're not a really good team.
No, I don't think the Blues.
That's kind of my point.
Only by a standings thing.
That matters. And so if you turn the puck over that many times and it directly leads to a goal, like you turn it over and then they go down and score, that's a point off a turnover, right? You're just giving the puck away and they say, oh yeah, I'll go score, sure. Like you do that enough, you're going to lose games. You probably shouldn't be this close to this team unless you're not really a good team.
Yeah, I know.
I don't appreciate what you're saying right now. I
just think turning the puck over a lot
is the truth.
Is kind of the staple of bad teams.
Typically, yes.
Yeah, so yeah.
They got the win, It would be terrible if they would have lost that game heading into the Four Nations. I'm just saying they needed to win that game. Now, the way that it transpired, you would like to think that they would not go to 10 rounds of a shootout against the Blackhawks. But nevertheless, they get the win. But they need to clean things up. This could be the best thing for this team is to have this 2-week break and to come back out and just be a completely different team. The season's not over. It's not over yet. They have time to come back. Now they don't have a lot of time, but they're still in the mix. So they just need to clean things up. It's as simple as that. Need to clean things up and be the team that Doug Armstrong constructed and thought that we'd be seeing at this point. And maybe that's it, though. Maybe this is what they are. It probably is.
CD, you look like you smelled something terrible.
I'm
What's
pained.
going on?
Because if you turn the puck over at this rate, you're not a good team.
Well, nobody's
Like,
saying
you
they
talk
are.
about it, and Jamie talks about it, like tape-to-tape passes. If you can't pass it tape-to-tape, you probably shouldn't be in the league, right? That's like making a simple bounce pass into the post or, swinging it and getting the ball to who needs it. Like, you can't do that. You probably aren't going to win. Points off turnovers. The Blues turn the puck over both teams. Here, you have it. No, you have it. No, you have it. You want to score? Sure. Here's the puck. Go score. Like, it's not a staple of a good team.
They won the game.
Yeah, that's the worst part. Honestly,
Hey.
that's the worst part of when you're a bad team and you play poorly and you still win. It kind of helps enforce those bad habits.
Then you end up losing in the Super Bowl.
See? He gets
Correction.
it.
Dominated.
Or in the wild card round after winning 14 games.
He gets it.
Sorry, Marsh.
Yeah.
Let me just go through my notes because I wrote something down from a wise man who has a lot of things, who got a lot of things correct. In
Paul
fact, over
Heyman?
the weekend, the Cardinals' newest acquisition.
No, it's Hellman.
No,
Max Hellman. I don't know what his name is.
Matt, I think.
Oh, yeah.
doesn't matter.
Mike.
Mike.
This person said they don't ask how, they ask how many.
This is true.
I'm talking about wins, not turnovers.
Yeah.
Zach Bolduc was dropped to the AHL. It's really just an opportunity for him to get more playing time. That's all it is. More playing time over the week. Have a nice break, kid. Wait, nope. You're going to go down. You're going to clean some things up in Springfield.
Oh, the
That's
internet,
all that.
the internet was
that's what
having
this is.
a doozy with that one.
Yeah, that's what it is. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. All right, I'd mentioned before that I blame one team for us watching one of the worst Super Bowls last night, and neither team actually played last night. Carey's going to be upset with me. That's next to 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. We just touched on your St. Louis Blues as they defeated the Chicago Blackhawks over the weekend in a shootout by a final score of 6-5. The Blues are off until February 22nd, where they'll take on the Winnipeg Jets. Until then, enjoy the Four Nations face-off, where Colton Parayko and Jordan Bennington will represent Team Canada. Last night, the Super Bowl, Philadelphia Eagles defeat the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. We're going to dive back into our Super Bowl 59 coverage. And that's coming your way next, right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
So I don't want to take full credit for this because Marsh and I were actually talking about this before the show. And one, we both agree that one of the worst Super Bowls in ever, Bob, last night. Now, Carey, and I understand your viewpoint on this, Carey. I'm not, I could be a bit of a wise guy, Carey. Not being a wise guy in this scenario. I know that your viewpoint on it is like, man, that was complete dismantling. It was impressive. Despite the score, maybe lack of entertainment, that was impressive nonetheless. But one of the reasons why it wound up being one of the worst Super Bowls for Marsh and I is because of one team specifically.
Who?
I don't blame the Chiefs for last night.
They were there. Sort of.
I blame the Baltimore Ravens. The fact that we did not get a better Super Bowl is because the Baltimore Ravens did not do their job in Buffalo. And we can also blame the Bills for not getting it done in KC.
100%.
You get Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry going up against that Eagles team. It's hard to imagine that the Super Bowl winds up being that boring. So I blame your Ravens for, Marsh, I'll shut up now because you put it perfectly, for
allowing the Chiefs to just give us just a terrible outing.
That's right. Wasting,
yes. They wasted, and I was telling Anthony this, Carey. I think that the Super Bowl would have been better with either the Ravens or the Bills. Maybe. Who knows, right? But I would have liked to see Josh Allen and or Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in the Super Bowl, specifically the quarterbacks, because we always talk about the quarterbacks. I want to see those guys in the Super Bowl. I would rather have seen them in the Super Bowl and get blown out than watch Kansas City in the Super Bowl and get blown out, because I've seen them in the Super Bowl way too many times at this point. I've already seen them get blown out. Like, I want to see these other guys in there. I just felt like this was a year that it would have made sense for those teams to be there. Now, they got to win the games, right? Like, we can't blame the Chiefs, right? We got to blame the other teams, like you said, Anthony, for not being good enough to beat the Chiefs when they needed to beat them. But for me, I just think that this was like a wasted year for Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, given how the Chiefs performed in the Super Bowl. Like, it was just kind of a waste for me.
No, I get confused sometimes because I clearly, sometimes I'm listening, sometimes I'm not. But I'm listening now.
Okay.
All right, Jamie.
Yeah, I know last week you, Anthony, told me that, well, I think it was both of you, kind of berated me. And Marcy said, oh, there was a guy, and you there were two guys at one point that agreed that they would never go against this team because this team is the greatest team to ever lace them up and play this game that we so love so much. And that was the Kansas City Chiefs. And you said that there's no way that the Buffalo Bills got a chance. Lamar Jackson stinks under pressure. Like, yeah. So how are we now blaming those teams instead of the team that was actually there that, couldn't block the rushers off of the edge or didn't realize that their tight end aged 15 years in the last season, just couldn't run.
Did he want to be there?
I think he wanted to be there. In all
seriousness, did it look like Travis Kelce
I think he wanted to be
was like interested in that game last night?
I think he wanted to be there. I just don't think there's any juice left to squeeze. I don't think there's much. Like, when you watch him play, it's not fast. And it's like Nikola Jokic. Like, it's very slow, except for Nikola he has the ball in his hand. He's going to do what he wants to do. Find guys, lay it up. It's very slow, which can throw people off at times because you're used to a certain pace. But Travis is not running fast enough and creating enough separation. And then when he did the first pass that was thrown to him, it was behind him. And then he took a shot in the back. It's the worst thing to get hit and you drop the ball. Like, why would you do that?
Especially when you don't really want to play that day.
No, I think he wanted to play. I just don't think he got it. But back to the original point.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ravens and the Buffalo Bills were not in the Super Bowl yesterday. There was one team there. And that one team, there were two teams there. Well, actually, probably one team. Because one team played really well.
One team showed up.
And the other team didn't. Mm-hmm. And the Chiefs, they stunk.
I think that's the point, though. Like, they didn't do anything for me.
No, they did enough to get there. You all said they were the best team in ever, Bob.
I never said that. I just said
here's the
they'd
thing.
win.
Here's the thing. I do not like the fact, and I'm still hurt by this, and the fact that you have not watched Band of Brothers like I asked you to. But you and I had a pack over Patrick Mahomes.
We did.
Not the Chiefs. We said we're never going against Mahomes again. And week one, you said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go against Mahomes. And then as the season wore on, you continued to go against Mahomes, which I took personally.
I got more evidence as to why I should, though.
You got one game as to why you should. And granted,
the
you
last
were right.
game?
Yeah.
No, this should have happened months ago. This should have happened plenty of times this season. This is what I was saying. This team, they earned the right to be there because they won every game, essentially. But this was not a good team. And that sounds crazy for it to be the team that made it to the Super Bowl, but they were not a good team.
But that's why I think that's why we're saying, like, this was a year that Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson should have been in the Super Bowl because of what you just said. Like, Kansas City wasn't really that good. This would have been the year for one of those two teams to get into the Super Bowl.
I think to Marsh's bigger point here, multiple years in a row now, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, i.e. the Ravens and the Bills, continue to squander opportunities. Last year, both of them had Mahomes on the road, and they lost.
Yeah.
This year, to your point, every game, even the ones against the Raiders, close. And you lost. You couldn't get it done. And because Allen and Lamar and the Ravens and the Bills continue to choke on applesauce, we had to watch that last night.
Yep.
Well,
so congratulations to you and your Eagles, CD. But Marsh and I left very unsatisfied.
I wonder, who do you think out of the two teams that I just mentioned could actually give that Eagles team, let's say they bring the same exact game plan. Ravens?
Yeah, because the Eagles would have had to defend the run, which they didn't have to last night. I mean, flat out, they probably had, Vic Fangio probably had a good idea that he didn't have to play much of the run. But after the first series, I'm sure Vic was on the phone to his assistant coach. He's like, hey, they're already bailing on the run. Let's just stick with what we're doing. We don't have to run a blitz, anything. But if it was the Ravens, you better bet you were damn sure that they were going to have to at least consider what Henry was going to do to them. I'm not saying the Ravens would have won the game.
Right.
But it wouldn't have been 40-22.
Well, maybe it would have been, but I think for me, at least I would know what that looks like for Lamar Jackson, and let's say the Bills were in there as well, what that would look like for Josh Allen. I want to see them in the Super Bowl. And if the Chiefs were going to get blown out, to me, I'm like, whatever. Like, I would rather see those other guys in that position.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe they weren't good enough, and they weren't. They weren't good enough to get there.
Weren't good enough.
Not even close.
All right. Let's start about the Cardinals. Big news today. Nolan Arenado was not
Dude,
at spring training. No. We'll tell you what happened here on these airwaves and, discuss what is going to happen with Nolan Arenado as spring training draws near. That's next on 101 ESPN. Mosby Building Arts, fantastic. The Mosby team recently came over to our place about, a couple weeks ago, and we had this issue going on with our doors that led out to the patio, and I tried to fix it. I tried to be, the kind of the responsible homeowner where, if you could do it yourself, great, do it yourself. But after a while of frustration and me not knowing what I did, I threw up my hands, and we had different bids come out. And Mosby was one of the bids that came out. And Mosby was the only ones that explained to us that the actual issue wasn't the doors itself. Yeah, the doors were a problem. They were old, they weren't installed necessarily the best way, but it was the steps. And Mosby explained that the way that the steps were built and laid, that the concrete was laid, that the water was getting behind those steps and causing issues in the basement. Well, we had the doors replaced by Mosby Building Arts. The flooring was replaced because all the water damage that occurred in the basement. Mosby Building Arts were absolutely incredible. Go with the right remodelers. Go with the right designers. We're talking about honest pricing. Designers with good taste, highest quality of work, trustworthy construction team. I saw all of this for myself, and you can too. So whether you're replacing doors, windows, you're completely redoing your master bath or maybe a kitchen, Mosby Building Arts are the right remodeling company. Call them yourself, 314-909-1800, or visit callmosby.com. You can schedule a free consultation today, and again, you can see the difference for yourself. They are the right remodeling company. It's Mosby. Give them a call. Tell them Stalter sent you. Last night on 101 ESPN. So Jeff Jones of the Belleville Democrat was on with our guys, TMA, who all this week broadcasting live from the Cardinal Spring Training in Jupiter, Florida. You don't want to miss the morning after live from Roger Dean all week long. It's brought to you by CarStar, your auto body repair experts, and by Sumner One, print and business technology solutions that keep your workplace humming. So, yeah, Jeff Jones was on today with TMA and said that he saw Nolan Arenado down at spring training.
Well, it's great.
I mean, it's great to have him. It's
No
awesome,
doubt.
you know, amid the contract, I mean, not contract, but the trade talks and negotiations that have been going on with Nolan Arenado. Him being in spring training down in Jupiter, you know, it speaks volumes to the leadership that the Cardinals have been looking for, you know, these past few years, and he's there.
Yes.
You know, getting those bats warmed up, ready to getting that glove
CD,
warmed up and manning the hot corner and just going to be a staple in this year's lineup. I'm so excited. I didn't expect. Yeah. What's
I
going
don't
on?
mean to cut you off. Nolan actually wasn't there.
What do you mean?
Yeah, so it's Tim McKernan.
What?
Our guy Tim.
Who said that?
He's a
What
Cardinal,
happened?
though.
Said,
He's a Cardinal.
quote, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the biggest surprise, I consider this a 13. That was Tim quoting Jeff Jones on Nolan Arenado being there. Unfortunately, Jeff also tweeted out, I have to eat this and apologize. I've since been told that Nolan Arenado is definitely not in Florida and is still at his home in Southern California. I do not know who I saw walking into the clubhouse this morning, but it's quite apparent to me that I was mistaken. I am, to put it mildly, absolutely mortified, and I apologize for being incorrect. No excuse for it. I owe an apology to Tim, Martin, Doug, Jackson, and everyone else involved with TMA. That can't happen on my end. It's flat out bad. First of all,
Well, that's tough.
mistakes
That's tough for
happen.
him, right?
Mistakes
I know we
happen.
joke around, but that's tough.
And the only reason why we're talking about this, because quite frankly, it's not a big deal. Jeff was quick about it. Mistakes happen. I actually kind of think it's funny. Who did he see?
Right. Like, that's the
That's
question.
what I want to know. Was it a Nolan Arenado lookalike?
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Now,
it's Nolan Arenado.
Marsh brought up at the start of the show, are they already trying to find a Nolan Arenado lookalike?
Yeah.
You know?
To replace him.
Off-brand to play
Yeah,
third
an
base.
off-brand. Exactly.
Or anywhere in the outfield.
Well,
I mean, if you can
preferably
play,
you play everywhere.
Well, here's the thing: if you know your Cardinals, don't you?
I certainly
if
do.
you
Thank
can
you.
play one position, well,
can
damn
play
it, you
them
can play all. You know, I mean, pitcher and catcher, they're their own. But if you can play third base in this organization, Marshy, you better be able to play right field.
No
you
doubt.
better be able to play first
yeah.
base and second base and shortstop, left field, center field. Like you better be able to do it all. Swiss Army knife is what we
Isn't
need.
that how baseball works? I remember growing up and we played a different position every inning. Isn't that how it works?
That's correct. Yeah.
Not in the major leagues.
Could you imagine they did that?
Hey, Lars, you're going to play shortstop here this inning. I know you've been really wanting to play, so we're going to put you there.
Your mom came up to us earlier. Your parents came up to us and said, why don't you try him there? He's been working.
We'll put him in the eighth.
Yeah. Anyways.
Oh, man.
Jeff, I'm sure, feels bad about it, but not a huge deal. That would have been a
mistakes do
massive
happen.
surprise, though.
Yeah, mistakes do happen.
So where are you guys? Because we're almost I don't know, not a full week out from. Hey, Red Sox, Cardinals, they're talking.
Yeah.
They're talking Nolan Arenado. What do you guys think? And now we're full weekend past, full weekend in a day.
To me,
This is. How can you not get a trade done?
so I think this is just my opinion. I have no idea if this is factually correct or whatever. I have a
We
feeling.
don't worry about that on this show.
No. Elon Musk apparently bought Budweiser or Anheuser-Busch.
Exactly, Jamie.
Couple
As soon
years
as
ago.
Jamie gets on Twitter, it's all over. Quite frankly, when it comes to us being right about anything.
I wonder if they have a deal already in place and everything is just contingent upon Alex Bregman because he's still, it's been a long time.
What is he waiting on? Been a while.
He's waiting on a team to want him on their roster.
I thought the Red Sox are looking for a third baseman. Why is there not a match there? What's going on?
You know what's going to happen?
What?
Bregman is going to sign one of those like Blake Snell deals, like he did last year with the Giants. 2 years, something like that, with an
Player
opt-out.
option for the last year. Yep.
Decent chunk of change, but then he'll have another bite at the apple a year from now. But he's He's going to sign with the Red Sox, and then the Cardinals are going to be left holding the bag with Nolan.
You think so?
So what happens at that point? Do we then see Nolan Arenado really see him in spring training?
Yes.
Or
what else are you going to do?
I mean, you don't think that there's a mutual? I mean, they're not gonna pay him to go away. Mm-mm. So you don't think that there's a mutual understanding? Like, you stay there, we'll keep working over here.
No, I do not.
I'm loving how it's going to all work out. You know.
But you're so far down the road. You had a deal in place with Houston. He nixes it because he got the no trade clause. Okay. You go in winter warm up and you say, this is our priority. You know, priority 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now you're here at spring training. He's not there. Who knows what his immediate future is? He's just waiting this thing out. I mean, it's a mess.
Yeah, I almost don't care anymore. Like, I just want the season to start, and then we'll just see what happens. Like, if he's your third baseman, he's your third baseman. Mm. Like, it doesn't hurt having veterans on your team with young players.
It hurts the Cardinals because they got to pay that money.
Okay.
But to me, I don't care. I don't care about their financial situation.
No.
Like, I just care about
wins and losses.
Yep. And if he's on that team, I'm sure the young players could benefit in some capacity by having him there. You know, we always talk about the leadership thing, and we're not in the clubhouse. Do we really know what his leadership looks like? We really don't. Like, I'm sure guys like playing with him. You know, maybe he has a bounce back year. Who knows? Like, I really don't know. Or maybe he gets traded at the deadline. Right. Like, who knows? But just start the season, man.
Trophy husband, I think Cardinals have no bargaining, position anymore. Mm-hmm. They're getting nothing for Arenado.
That's correct.
Correct. You have already admitted that why you do that, I don't know. Our priority 1, 2, and 3 is to trade Nolan Arenado. Really?
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you're giving. Okay. How about what do you want? I want you to take all the salary.
No, it doesn't matter anymore.
Matter.
We'll just take them. Yeah.
You don't have.
Tell you what you're going to do. You're going to free up a spot. That's
all you're getting.
You're doing. Yep.
You're going to pay this money that you owe him because you want to get rid of him, and you've acknowledged this.
Yes.
You have no position to ask or request or require anything anymore. You've shown your hand.
Right.
You play cards, Anthony. Would you show me your hand?
No.
Why would you?
Right.
You're gonna fold. No, we gotta see what you got. I'm not staying in, dummy.
Why are you still in this?
You showed me your hand.
7-deuce offsuit.
So yeah, it's for me, it's ridiculous, and you're gonna end up paying. If you're gonna pay him, you might as well play him. Mm-hmm. You're gonna pay the majority of the salary unless your ultimate goal. If your ultimate goal is to open up spots for younger players, then pay a salary and go away. Don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. But if it's to cut salary and you can't do that, you might as well play him.
Right.
Could you see the Cardinals, if they can't trade Arenado, trading one of their other young pieces to free up more space for another player? And do you think that would be a bad idea?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. And unless they're really. The money is an issue, a bigger issue than what they're suggesting. But if they do no, I don't think they will. I don't think they will. I don't think they will. Like, who are they going to trade?
Who are you going to trade?
From a position player standpoint, it doesn't.
You can trade Lars Nootbaar. You could probably get something in return for him.
You bite your tongue. You saw the
stats. You saw the numbers.
Lars, what company Lars is sharing when it comes to stats. Talking about guys like Shohei.
I think
Soto.
That would be a reason why
which is why you would trade him.
Yeah, people would look at this blast rate and be we want that guy.
Which is why you would trade him if you didn't think he could stay healthy.
Yeah.
But he's going to be here, and the Cardinals are going to keep him around, and he's going to play 112 games.
Yeah.
Hard as he can, though.
Oh, we just get an interesting question from the 314. If Nolan Arenado stays, does the fan base rally behind him to stick it to the front office and he tears it up? ? One can wish.
Yeah, maybe. All right, let's get to the Gauntlet. Gauntlet is next. We got a Gauntlet guy ready
Yeah, we have
to go?
Hal. He beat me and Randall on Friday. I've been thinking about it ever since.
Jeez. Okay. Well, Let's get to Hal next on 101 ESPN.
categories, one challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
406, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome back Hal. What's up, Hal?
How you doing?
Doing all right, man. You made quick work of Marsh on Friday. You get to celebrate over the weekend.
Oh, yeah, it was great watching the Eagles kick some ass.
Yeah. Well, you and Carey, you guys celebrated, and every Chief hater out there. I guess, can we kill the whole ref narrative, or is that going to go on still?
Yeah, I think we can.
Oh, that's never going anywhere.
I was about to say, it's a tough one to give up, right?
Well, if the Eagles would have lost, yeah. You know, the first interference against A.J. Brown, you're like, what are we doing? Are you not playing football? What is this? What's going on here?
Well, that's the thing. You have to beat not only the Chiefs, but the refs, and the Eagles dominated so much that it wasn't even a factor in the game, right?
Yeah. All right. Enough of that. Hal, would you like to take on Carey or me today in the second round?
Let's do Carey.
Carey Davis. All right, there you go. CD's going to make his way into the cone of silence.
All right, Hal, good luck.
All right, good luck, Carey.
All right, Hal, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Marsh, spin that wheel.
I can't remember. Did you want random, Hal?
Yeah, I'm good with random.
Is that
pretty
what
much anything but hockey, honestly.
Oh, no. Is it hockey?
It's hockey.
Okay.
And CD, the hockey guy.
Okay, so the wheel knew. The wheel knew what you wanted. And the wheel said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give you hockey today. So 4 questions, all hockey related, all worth 2 points per question, unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions are worth 1 point. Marsh is getting us the launch codes right now. Thank you, Marsh. All right, Hal, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, question 1. Which NHL player recently scored his 53rd shootout goal of his career, giving him the most shootout goals in NHL history?
Let's go, Alex Ovechkin.
Final answer?
Yeah, final answer.
Question number 2. Name the player that has scored the most points in a single season for the Capitals in their history, scoring 136 points in a season.
I'm tempted to say Alex Ovechkin, but let's do the options again.
Is it A, Alex Ovechkin, B, Dennis Maruk, assuming I'm saying that correctly, maybe not, or C, Mike Gardner?
You know what? Let's do that option 2 that you struggled with.
Old Dennis the Menace.
Yeah.
Final answer?
Final answer, yeah.
All right, Hal, question 3. During the Blues Stanley Cup winning season, which player wore number 62?
Oh, God.
During the Blues Stanley Cup winning season, which player wore number 62?
Let's do a stab in the dark. Let's do Sammy Blais.
Final answer?
Final answer, yeah.
Question number 4. Which player leads the Blues AHL affiliate, the Springfield Thunderbirds, in goals this season?
Options.
Options are Dalibor Dvorsky, Matthew Pekka, or Nikita Alexandrov.
Let's do Nikita Alexandrov.
Final answer?
Yeah, final answer.
All right, let's bring back Carey from the Cone of Silence. Hal, how you feeling?
Not very good.
Okay, well, you'd mentioned you didn't necessarily want this category.
Yeah, hockey's my weak spot.
Now, let's see how Carey feels about it. He's putting in his earbuds right now. Carey, how's the Cone of Silence?
That was quiet.
Okay, good.
Very quiet.
Now, you're referred to as the hockey guy around here.
That's what some people say.
And you just got hockey.
Oh.
Are you ready?
Sure.
Marshy?
Pack a lunch.
Oh, gosh.
Question 1. Which NHL player recently scored his 53rd shootout goal of his career, giving him the most shootout goals in NHL history?
Nah. Alexander Ovechkin. Final answer.
Question number 2. Name the player that has scored the most points in a single season for the Capitals in their history, scoring 136 points in a season.
I mean, that would seem like the same answer, but how this works is never the same answer unless I got the first answer incorrect, which would mean that this answer would be, Options.
Options are Alexander Ovechkin, Dennis Maruk, or Mike Gartner.
Well, if you can't pronounce his name, Marsha, is he a real person? Huh? Yeah, give me Alexander Ovechkin again. One of them is right.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, question 3. During the Blues Stanley Cup winning season, which player wore number 62?
Oh, God. Options.
Mackenzie McEachern, Sammy Blais, or Zach Sanford?
Was it? It wasn't Sammy Blais, was it? McKenzie. I have no clue. Sammy Blais. Final answer.
Question number 4. Which player leads the Blues AHL affiliate, the Springfield Thunderbirds, in goals this season?
Oh. That's another good question, Marshy. Options again, please.
Options are Dalibor Dvorsky, Matthew Pekka, or Nikita Alexandrov.
Let's go Dalibor Dvorsky. Final answer.
Let's go over these.
Oh, gosh.
Hal did not want hockey, and the wheel said, let's give you hockey. Against the hockey guy, our very own, Carey Davis. During the Blues Stanley Cup winning season, which player wore number 62? Carey, you went with Sammy Blais. You took the options. Hal did not go with the options. He also said Sammy Blais.
Oh.
Correct answer is...
It is Double Mac Mackenzie McEachern.
0-0 thus far between Carey and Hal. Which player leads the Blues AHL affiliate, the Springfield Thunderbirds, in goals this season? Carey with the options, you said Dalibor Dvorsky. Hal with the options, you said Nikita Alexandrov. Correct answer is...
Well, of course, it's Matthew Pekka.
Matthew Pekka.
I got to start going by the Anthony Stalter school.
That was a perfect one.
That was a perfect one. That is the answer. It's like Luke and Baker. Like the odd name. The name that you, a few years ago. Luke and Baker. Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's the name.
Right.
Every time, Anthony.
It's like Albert Pujols, Stan Musial, or...
Luke
and Baker.
There you go.
Gotta be Luke and Baker.
John Rodriguez, J-Rod.
All right, so 0-0 between Hal and CD. Which NHL player recently scored his 53rd shootout goal of his career, giving him the most shootout goals in NHL history? Hal, without the options, said Alex Ovechkin. Carey, without the options, said Alex Ovechkin. Makes sense. Correct answer is...
Alex Ovechkin has a lot of goals. But Patrick Kane has more shootout goals.
Of course, it's Patrick Kane. Why wouldn't it be?
Why wouldn't it be? What's the score?
Marsh, you got the?
Yeah, it's 0-0.
0-0. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
Let's see if we're heading to a walk-off. Name the player that has scored the most points in a single season for the Capitals in their history, scoring 136 points in a season. Carey, you said... I know it's Alex Ovechkin. It's got to be one of these answers, so you went with Alex Ovechkin. Hal, you said, I almost want to say Alex Ovechkin again, but why don't you go ahead and give me the name that Marsh struggled with?
He struggled both times?
Yes.
Well,
you weren't confident.
This is not a real player.
Dennis Maruk.
He's
Marek. Dennis the Menace, we're calling him.
Dennis the Menace.
Which Carey said, yeah, not a real person. If it's Dennis the Menace, Hal wins. If it's Alex Ovechkin, CD wins. If it's Mike Gartner, we got a very painful walk-off. Hal.
You have chosen wisely.
He's real.
I knew it all along.
He's real and he's spectacular. Dennis Marek. Maruk. Maruk. Marek. Either way, Hal, you win 1-0 today. Your defense was as good as the Eagles last night. Nice job, man.
Impeccable.
Thank you.
Good job, Hal.
So you'll be back tomorrow. Sounds good?
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do it.
All right.
All right, Hal.
There you go. We'll call you tomorrow.
All right. Bye.
That was painful.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Great.
That was a rough one.
Man.
Oh, well.
Dennis Maruk.
Dennis Maruk.
We don't even know who this guy is.
Well, apparently he's done some good things, at least for one season for the Capitals. So there you have it. What's the biggest lesson from Super Bowl 59? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. Check out Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum's Love at First Drive. It's a sales event going on throughout the month of February. They've got new Nissans that are discounted up to $10,000 off. They've also got sales prices starting under $23,000 on select models. With over 700 new and used vehicles all in one location, they've got heavily discounted prices on every vehicle in stock so that you can drive home your brand new vehicle and also get some peace of mind coverage out of it. 2025 Nissan models at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum throughout the Love at First Drive sales event. Get a free lifetime warranty and 3 free oil changes. I have no idea who's doing this. I mean, that's amazing. Free lifetime warranty and 3 free oil changes. Plus, you get that peace of mind coverage with their 30-day return promise. If you're not completely in love with the vehicle, get it, Love at First Drive. If you're not completely in love with the vehicle, within the 30 days, you can bring it back at a full refund. They also have 0 down and no payments for 3 months and select used vehicles, as well as terms of up to 84 months with some low financing rates to boot. So head out to Herculaneum. Tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan and AutoCentersNissan.com. Miles in on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Our guy Jamie Rivers is in Mexico for a little time off. He'll be with us next week. Carey, what was the biggest lesson from Super Bowl 59 for you? And I think there's lessons on both sides, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about just the game. You know, if you want to talk about Saquon Barkley and the addition that he made to the Eagles, but like, what do you think? Your other teams, and it's hard. It's a copycat league, so you're looking at these teams, how they're built, all that. And there's usually kind of one big lesson from a game like that. For you, what was it?
It's the trenches. It's up front. It's how prepared are you up front? How well and how talented are you up front? Chris Jones is a problem, right? Everybody knows that he's going to make plays and he's going to do outstanding things. The offensive line for the Eagles, I think, was well equipped for all of the things that the Kansas City Chiefs were going to bring, the blitzes, the multiple pressures that they were going to bring. But defensively, I thought it was just, like I said earlier, a masterclass in how to contain an elite quarterback. Yeah. A guy that, the thing about Patrick Mahomes is when he gets outside of the pocket and extends plays, he's deadly. He's a troublemaker for a defense. And then he becomes more confident and more comfortable in the pocket, and he's able to complete passes over the middle to his, future Hall of Fame tight end in Travis Kelce. But when you take those things away, when you eliminate the opportunity or limit the opportunity for him to get outside the pocket and extend plays, when you force Travis Kelce to say, hey, you're going to have to beat us deep, which we know you cannot do. I'm going to be waiting here, at the 10, 15 yards, anywhere in that range, 8 to 15 yards, I'm going to be waiting right there for you to break or sit down. It's going to be hard for them to have success. So for me, I thought if you take away anything, and then also, even though Saquon Barkley didn't have his 100-yard performance, he still ran the ball 25 times, which means to me that you're still comfortable, you're still confident, you're still, taking advantage of managing the clock and keeping one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in his young career on the sideline, because we're going to run the ball at you, but you can't do any of that without a dominant offensive line. And you can't keep him in the pocket. You can't keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket and do the things that they did defensively without a dominant defensive line.
Same. Yeah. I had the exact same thought. In fact, my wife, Kristen, last night, she's like, why did the Chiefs play so poorly? Like, what's kind of the breakdown of it? First word out of my mouth was trenches. Yeah. Like, if you ever heard, the fact that football's won in the trenches, that's a perfect example of that. That's why that statement exists.
I'm supposed to be back there.
Oh, yeah, you are.
You guys.
Well, hold on.
You guys.
Hold on.
We're going to do it next segment?
Got to do it next segment.
Ah, man.
That's right. We didn't hold him accountable.
We didn't know.
You guys didn't.
Wow.
Honestly, it's a good on him for even saying anything.
Who said it on the text?
Well, they said it in the snake pit. Bye, CD. I'm like, bye, what did I do? And then I saw the chair that MD 2020 calls, and I'm like, I'm supposed to be back there. I forgot.
But you were right on the Super Bowl thing. We'll just push it off to the next segment.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you were right on that Super Bowl. No, Carey, I completely agree with you. It's the trenches. Period. End of story. Here's the other thing too about the offensive line play. Yeah, it impacts Patrick Mahomes, and as you were illustrating in the first segment, when you were talking about how the Eagles contained him, but then pressured him up the middle. I mean, anytime Mahomes tried to escape up the middle, the DTs would, or defensive ends, depending where he was, would just turn and tackle him right away. And a lot of times, I mean, the one time his offensive lineman, he almost got tackled essentially by his offensive lineman because he got so turned around, and so were they. They were turnstiles. But it also, I think, limited your counterpunch if you were the Kansas City Chiefs. Kareem Hunt is capable. I think Isaiah Pacheco being he couldn't be 100%. There's no way.
I think he is. I don't think that they created enough movement up front. Kareem Hunt is a solid backup. He's not a lead back anymore. He was in his first tenure, his first tour with the Kansas City Chiefs. He was a lead back. He was 1B2 when he was in Cleveland with Nick Chubb. He's not he no longer was a number one. His skill set has diminished, not greatly, but it has diminished. And so you're still running it back with some of these older players at this point. Isaiah Pacheco, I think, is a fine running back. But when people, like you said, when people say you can find a running back in the 7th round, yeah, sure. but not what the Eagles had on the opposite sideline.
Right.
So, I think it just all caught up to them. They were unable to run the ball because the defensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles are huge and they're athletic and they're not letting you. They weren't even able to get to the second level to get to the linebackers. Most of those tackles were by the defensive linemen. Like I haven't looked at the stats. I don't know how many tackles Bond had. It didn't feel like a lot.
Right.
Because the ball wasn't getting to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they weren't even getting past the initial line of scrimmage. And they weren't. The second half, they ran the ball 4 times.
That's what I'm saying. Even if you wanted to run, so I started talking about Hunt and Pacheco. Forget it. Even if they wanted to run the ball, even if they were committed to it, the defensive line for the Eagles were so good that I don't think it would have mattered. So we can talk about Mahomes and Andy Reid, and yes, they're the ultimate cheat code, but not if, like I said at the start, there are no adjustments if you're losing all your matchups. Like, part of me last night was watching it like, well, where's the adjustment? You can't make adjustments if every single one of your individual matchups were losing. And that was the case last night with Kansas City, save for second half when Xavier Worthy got going a little bit and, caught a couple of passes. Ultimately, it does start right there in the trenches. So if you're another team and you're the Eagles, or you're watching the Eagles and what they've done with that defensive line, stop drafting wide receivers so damn high if you don't have a defensive end or a defensive tackle that can get after the passer. There are nice ancillary pieces. It's great that the Bengals have Jamar Chase. You wouldn't want to give him back. But if you don't have a defensive line, at some point it's not going to matter. Joe Burrow led the league in yards, I think, this year, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You didn't even make the playoffs. Atlanta has selected Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson and Drake London. London's a player. Bijan's a dude. It doesn't matter. They could have had Jalen Carter. So could 8 other teams that draft. It's just, and I know he had off-field drama and things like that, so I'm not overlooking that. But the bottom line is, if you can't win in the trenches and you don't have Mahomes, or even if you do, good luck.
Yeah. I think when you're looking at the Eagles, I will go back to the 2021 draft. Landon Dickerson, second-round pick, starter.
Yep.
Devontae Smith, first-round pick, starter. 2022 draft, Jordan Davis, first-round starter. Cam Jurgens, also a starter. Second round. Nakobe Dean was a starter before he got hurt. Third round. You got this is the D tackles, the D linemen. Jalen Carter the following year, first round, and Nolan Smith in the first round.
Right.
Starters on that, like in the last 4 years, you drafted 3 or 4 of your starting defensive linemen, starting linebacker, 3 starting offensive linemen. You drafted 3 guys, a couple of guys last year that are starting on defense at cornerback. Like, they've done a fantastic job, but it starts up front with the guys that they drafted and going after and knowing this league is about. It's about getting to the quarterback and having a quarterback.
Yep.
Like, if you got those 2 positions, you're probably going to excel and exceed some things in football.
Definitely.
You got a guy or multiple guys, like Marshy said, they didn't have to blitz one time. Why? Because they are beating your butt up front with 4 people versus your 5 people, sometimes 6, sometimes 7 if you got to. It was one play, and I was going to take
the number.
The 7, hell, yeah. I was so bothered. I get so bothered in watching football when I see tight ends trying to block defensive ends. Travis Kelce was trying to block, I think it was Brandon Graham. Got his butt whipped.
He didn't even get out. Is that the one where he didn't even get out of his stance?
Got his butt whipped. That ain't his job.
Yeah.
There's a 300-pound guy next to him that gets paid solely for the purpose of blocking defensive ends.
Right.
What you think you're going to do is you're going to force him to rush from a wider spot. All Travis is doing is turning his shoulders, and now it's right off the edge. Yeah. So, yeah,
it's almost like Kelsey's not even a tight end.
It's no point in, not a blocking tight end, not a offensive tackle tight end.
If Marsh didn't laugh, I think I got him.
You almost had me. You almost had me. He's definitely a tight end now. He's definitely not a receiver anymore. At this point,
and he's not much of a player.
Yeah,
that's a shame. He's had a great career. I hate to.
I think he's gonna. He'll bounce back, but
I don't think he will.
They just aren't good enough.
No, they're not.
Yep,
they're not at all. All right. Why don't we do our Sports Six Pack next? 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. If you got a question for us, send it in there. We'll do our Sports Six Pack next. We got my guy Stewie on the phone right now, and there's no person that is more reliable when it comes to paying down debt than if you call our guy Stewie. What do you got for our listeners today?
Anthony, some people are interested in cash flow, improving the cash flow so they can take their wives on vacation or spouses or do something extra with the money. They're starving every month, paycheck to paycheck. And some people, you know what, they just want to get rid of the debt. We just took an ESPN listener, 28 years left on his loan. We consolidated his debt. We gave him a 15-year mortgage. His overall payment is less than what he has now, and he knocked off 13 years on his mortgage. He's thrilled. He's going to do the Red Bagel Challenge of cutting his mortgage in half and getting rid of all of his debts in half the time that he has remaining. Take advantage. Call us about the Red Bagel Challenge. We'll tell you all about it.
And that number to call, 314-324-4440. You can call Stewie or text him. Just reach out. You may think that, Stewie can't help me. Nobody can help me with my situation. I got too much debt. That's the perfect reason to call. Don't have the sleepless nights and all the things that Stewie just talking about where you feel like you can't pay for your mortgage, you can't pay for your grocery, whatever it is. Stewie can help you out, I guarantee you. 314-324-4440. You can also Google the bag alone if you miss that number. Hey, Stewie, keep up the great work.
Have a great day, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Eagles defeat the Chiefs in Super Bowl 59 last night by a final score of 40-22. We've been talking Super Bowl 59 all day long. If you missed any of those conversations, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. The Blues over the weekend defeated the Chicago Blackhawks in a shootout. Final score 6-5. We touched on that game earlier today, as well as Zach Bolduc going to the AHL affiliate Springfield Thunderbirds. Once again, if you missed any of those conversations, just head to the website 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. We have our Sports Six Pack coming up next, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. We'll do our six pack next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
All right, time for our Sports Six-Pack. At least part one. Carey is now in the penalty box. Our apologies to everybody that wanted to see Carey basically get what was coming to him.
Yeah. Somebody on the text line said it was a delayed penalty.
It was. Yeah, that's a good call. Yep, delayed penalty. So Carey is properly now in the penalty box, serving his loss to Hal in the Gauntlets earlier today. Andrew Marsh is here, and he's got question one for us.
Question number one.
From the 314, and this is for Chuckles. What would your narrative have been if Kansas City won today?
If they won today, I would say, how the hell did they play two games?
Okay, that's. I think the
like
message is a little, the grammar is a little off. But today, what would have been the narrative if they would have won yesterday?
Oh.
This was from Chuckles?
No, it's not from Chuckles. It's for Chuckles.
Who's Chuckles?
It's like to laugh, Anthony. Like
the guy in the movie.
Oh, for Chuckles. I get it. I thought he was calling one of us Chuckles.
No.
But for blanks and giggles is what you're saying. Yeah.
Unless someone is Chuckles. I don't know.
Well, what my narrative would have been was Carey, once again, failing to realize that he has not been a good friend in this regard. He's gone against me with Mahomes after we made that blood pack. But for Carey, I am interested. How disappointed would you have been? Like, would you, let's say the Chiefs won a close game.
Yeah.
Similar to how they won all season long. Mm-hmm. Would you, since this is the last game, would you be like, all right, I just got to tip my cap?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it doesn't look pretty. It doesn't look pretty, but I've got to give it to them. They continue to.
It stunk all year.
Yeah.
But I would tip my cap and say, you know what? They found a way. A way out of no way, Anthony.
A way out of nowhere.
But they were able to beat the team that had more talent, had better players, team that I thought would have a better scheme, and would be one person in particular. Chris Jones would be the reason that I'd say they were outstanding.
Okay.
Andy Reid. Maybe Patrick Mahomes.
Maybe.
But I didn't think it was going to happen.
Man, my MVP for Kareem Hunt, it was a long shot to begin with, but
you didn't get your parlay then because you.
Oh goodness gracious, no, I wasn't even close. However,
did you hit any leg of it?
Let me check real quick.
What was my
Did I have the national anthem in there?
I don't know.
Did I actually put it in there because I would have got that right? I had the under for the national anthem, and I believe I hit it. And I told you guys yesterday. John Baptiste, who was singing the national anthem, there was a part where that he sang 3 times. I'm like, that's not in the lyrics. Keep singing, mister. But I think it hit anyway.
What are you doing?
I took a picture of it this weekend. I never sent it to you guys, and it didn't really matter. Maybe I didn't. Oh, yeah, here we go. Kareem Hunt touchdown. Didn't happen. Kareem Hunt 40-plus rushing yards.
No.
Didn't happen. Jalen Hurts touchdown. That happened. Yeah. Eagles last to score. I don't think that happened.
Nope.
Longest touchdown over 35.5 yards. I believe that hit. Total rushing touchdowns over 2.5 did not hit. Chiefs money line definitely did not hit.
No.
Wasn't even close.
You got 2.
Got 2.
Yeah.
Nah.
How are we feeling?
Yeah. Feel great.
Good.
Feel great. I feel great.
Great.
Yep.
All right, question 2, please.
Question number 2.
All right, this one comes from the Waterboy. Which NFL team will bounce back from missing the playoffs and make it to the conference championship game? Could it be the Bengals, the 49ers, and the Falcons?
No, it's not the Falcons.
Are part of this text message.
I think the 49ers might be headed in the wrong direction. Deebo Samuel is seeking a trade. Brandon Ayuk was out for the entire year, essentially. You won't know what he looks like when he comes back. Team that missed the playoffs.
The conference champion, or the Yeah, the conference championship game. That's the tough part, right?
Yeah.
So the Bengals would probably be the team that you would highlight. They're the easiest choice because otherwise you're talking about the Dolphins, Jets, Patriots. No. The Browns. No. The Colts, Jaguars, Titans. No. Raiders. No.
Chargers? You love the Chargers. You love Justin Herbert.
Well, but they made the playoffs.
Oh, you said made the playoffs.
Yeah, so the team that has not made the playoffs did not make the playoffs. Cowboys, no. Giants, no. Bears,
no. No, thank you.
I doubt it. Falcons, no. Panthers, no. Saints, no. Cardinals, 49ers. The two obvious choices in each respective conference, the Bengals and the 49ers. I agree with CD in that 49ers feel like they're sliding backwards.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in Kyle Shanahan, though, so I'll say the 49ers.
Okay.
If I had to choose one. They seem to be the best of the bunch.
What about the Seahawks?
Ooh.
Seahawks were a 10-win team last year. That's a good pick.
They didn't make that might be a team.
It's interesting.
Do they have enough, though, to make a deep playoff run?
Probably not, but...
Especially with, we just saw what the Eagles did. You still have the Lions. The Rams. Who knows what they're going to do in that division, so maybe not them. You have some other teams that could potentially be in their way.
Yeah.
I would say that I like the Bengals. I like that pick.
All right. So CD says Bengals. I'm saying 49ers.
Bengals, Falcons.
No, not the Falcons.
Yeah.
Super Bowl next year. What time is it? 4:45. Anthony Stalter. Bengals, Falcons.
That was Carey. It was Carey that said that. I didn't say that.
It's hard to tell who's who from over here.
Yeah.
Sounds the same.
Yeah, it's true.
You and I.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You and I.
All right. Let's continue our sports six packs. That was part one. We'll do part two next on 101 ESPN. Hey, Missouri sports fans, got some great news for you. Underdog is available to play in our state in this basketball season when your favorite stars score buckets. We're alley-ooping you an opportunity to win more money from just watching sports, but you got to play at Underdog. Underdog Fantasy gives you the opportunity to choose several players, make your picks, and just go higher or lower on their stats. So, for example, tonight, if Luka Doncic makes his debut for the Lakers, how about we go higher than 27.5 points for him? A couple of injuries impacting some teams, like the Bucks, for example, with Giannis being out. How about higher on Dame Lillard's points? You could choose what you want to do. You could do NBA when the NHL comes back around. You could do NBA and NHL or just NHL. It's completely up to you how you want to do your picks, but all you have to do is download the Underdog app, sign up with the promo code Anthony to unlock your special offer, and that's up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun. Again, when you sign up with Underdog Fantasy with my promo code Anthony, and you can claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon your first deposit, then make more money when it comes to playing Underdog's champions. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to, let me get that, 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-878-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Answer the question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
All right, let's continue our Sports Six-Pack. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. So if you do have a question that you want to send in, now it's time to do it with Carey Davis and Anthony Stalter. No Jamie Rivers today. Jamie's on vacation throughout the week. Our guy Andrew Marsh is here, though. Marsh, what do we got?
Question number 3.
All right, from the 618, what is the biggest weakness that needs to be fixed in order for the Blues to be a playoff team next season?
I think the biggest weakness is at the top of the roster, quite frankly. When you look at these teams that are consistent playoff teams, what's the difference? The difference is that they have top-end players that go well beyond what the Blues have.
Oh, I agree. I think you need a superstar or a St. Louis star at least.
Mm-hmm.
You think they have St. Louis stars?
The Blues?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jordan Kyrou, Robert Thomas.
Okay. Well, they need
Jordan Biddington.
They need a superstar.
I think Jake Neighbors could be a St. Louis star at some point.
Yeah, I think you need
more so than Alec Burleson is for the Cards.
Come on, man.
I'm sorry.
That was unnecessary.
My bad.
Do they have guys with like? I know Jordan Kyrou is a guy that has elite speed, but it doesn't look like. What's the guy's name? I don't know how to pronounce it. Mikheyev from the Blackhawks. I don't know how to say.
Oh,
it. Mikheyev, yeah. When he scored that goal, he kind of was shot out of rocket.
Dennis.
No, not that guy.
Maruk.
Ilya Mikheyev.
Yeah, Mikheyev, he blew past Justin Falk.
I mean, it was like he was in quicksand.
Shot out of a cannon.
We need a guy like that with that type of speed.
Well, I think the Blues do. They just don't like.
Why not how they use it then, Marshall?
Well, Jamie always talks about like the Blues. Well, I just feel like they need to drive the net more. You know, like it just feels like everything's to the perimeter. And like we talked about it a couple weeks ago, the team speed heading into the offensive zone, like players slow up, then, you know, it allows the other team to catch up, those back checkers. And it seems like sometimes when they have odd man rushes, they end up not going the way that you would hope they would because they're not quick enough either with their feet or decision making.
Yeah.
So the Blues are like the NBA. They just stand around the perimeter and shoot threes.
I think it's a little different.
I mean, it sounds the same. You said they're around the perimeter. They need to go to the bucket. Go to the hoop.
Yeah.
Get to the basket.
Take it to the hole.
Get to the net.
Take it to the hole. Yeah. Take it to the hole. Take it to the hole.
Right. I think the difference is if you've got guys that can shoot from the perimeter, the Warriors have proven time and time again that you can win that way. I don't think there's any quote-unquote perimeter shooting in hockey.
Oh.
You know?
Well, if you shoot it from the perimeter, you get a rebound.
Now, you can shoot the puck.
The guy is standing there.
You can shoot the puck from the point, Anthony, and it does help when there's guys in front.
See?
It does help.
Okay, but guys are in front.
When there's guys in front.
Right.
Yeah. Makes it hard for the goalie.
Steph Curry's like
when he scored a couple of nights ago.
Steph Curry's like, I don't need anybody in front. I'll just sink this. That's the difference.
Well, he's pretty good, Anthony.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would pick him.
Because he's pretty good. Proves my point. Something like that.
Question number 4.
All right, from the 618, I'm meeting a friend for dinner at a Mexican restaurant. What's your go-to never fails dish at a Mexican restaurant?
Oh, man. Never fails.
Never fails.
Get yourself some tacos that are, you know, like a lot of Mexican restaurants will offer the street tacos in any form. So you can do chicken, you can do beef, you can do carnitas, you can do chorizo, right? What I like to, maybe some shrimp. What I like to do, fellas, one of each.
Okay.
Street tacos, one of each. One chicken, one chorizo, one carnitas, one shrimp or beef, depending on how I'm feeling.
I am a birria tacos. Like they
What'd
are
you call those?
Birria. They like dipped in the sauce.
Oh, man.
They got those,
sauce.
and they are prepared well. I could eat. You probably don't need more than 3. I've eaten like 5 or 6 at a time.
Yeah,
It
You're
can
an
get
adult,
bad.
aren't you?
Yeah. Or a good quesadilla, like a quesadilla.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Somebody threw out, MD 2020, chicken fajita nachos. Solid choice as well.
Not bad.
I've been known to go to a Mexican restaurant, just flat out order the appetizer nachos. Solid, man.
Carey just mentioned quesadillas.
That's literally all I get.
Yeah. The quesadilla?
Sometimes I'm a 10-year-old, Anthony. I just get the quesadilla.
Quesadilla?
That's it. Nothing else.
That's interesting that you said it that way, because my kids always get the quesadilla.
But I always get two. I always get two.
Two
I try and get a chicken and a steak.
Yeah.
And I like trying them from different places to kind of compare which quesadillas are the best.
So a couple things here. Zoosh says, I get one of each enchiladas, Anthony Zoosh. Been there, done that. Love it. Love it, buddy. DLW 1904, Al Pastor tacos. Outstanding. Outstanding, 1904. Man, the snake pit is on fire right now. Like an Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl. If you're on the Eagles.
This is how I don't want to say judge, but I put a lot of thought into if the food's going to be good based on the chips. Do you do the same? Ooh. The chips and the salsa, if it's up to the standard, like do you think they all kind of taste the same, or what are your thoughts on the chips and salsa? Do you put a lot of thought and a lot of your experience on the chips and salsa?
I don't, but Kristen does. My wife does.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she kind of judged the place based on the chips, salsa, also the cheese dip.
Oh yes,
big fan of the cheese dip.
Queso,
if the cheese dip is not up to snuff, we've been known to walk.
Yeah, if the chips,
not really, not really. But I wanted to put some emphasis on there. Yeah.
The chips kind of salted, just like, and not stale, not maybe they feel warm, like, but they're just kind of,
they can't break.
They got a
either.
crunch, but they're not extremely hard.
Yep.
And they a little bit soft.
They can't break too easily, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want it breaking into a little bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I said hard, chewy, hard, crunchy, but not chewy. Yeah. But still kind of bendable.
But if they're warm,
man.
It tells you the place cares.
It tells you that they love you.
It's like McDonald's French fries. Are they hot? Because they're hot, man. That means people care.
Yeah.
Are you going to give me those soggy, cold fries, which I'll still eat?
And honestly, it's a 50-50 proposition at this point with that. I got to be honest.
Yeah, Mickey D's. They do have great fries.
They do. I think they put something in it that makes you crave it more.
They probably put something in all of it.
Sure. It's called
not that.
No.
By the way, did you like the Super Bowl commercial with the little girl that grew the potato?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see that?
No.
I didn't see that one either.
It's a nice little commercial.
I feel like I gotta go back and watch all these commercials.
I mean,
like I said, the only one I laughed at was the alien one.
I did like the Shane Gillis and Post Malone with Peyton Manning. It was like the Bud Light commercial.
That was good.
Where they came in with like a cooler that looked like it was like 50 feet long.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like, oh, do you have a grill in your lawnmower? They're like, no, we have a lawnmower that turns into a grill. It's like, no, we got a grill that mows the lawn.
That's funny. I didn't hear what they were saying, but I did see a lot of like the Chris Hemsworth and Chris Pratt.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah. But I don't know. I didn't know what they were saying.
I don't know. It wasn't great.
There's one commercial about a certain guy that was at a dentist office, and it was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see that one.
You didn't see that?
Who was that?
It was a rapper.
I thought that's what they keep texting about. I haven't seen it. He's a strange guy.
Strange guy.
He's a weird guy, Ace.
Very weird. Very interesting fella.
All right.
Question number 5.
All right, from the 314. So is the NFC the dominant conference now? Many thought AFC was during the year, but the ass whooping KC took last night tells me NFC is king. I don't think any other team in the NFL could have beat the Eagles last night.
That I agree with. Your last part there, I agree with. I don't think anybody was beating the Eagles last night. I think given the matchup and what the Chiefs struggle with, the Ravens it would have been an interesting matchup based on the fact that you got Derrick Henry and Lamar that you had to worry about. And if Zay Flowers was healthy, again, there's a lot of elements there. But I can't go as far to say that the AFC or the NFC, excuse me, is now the king conference, because let's do this. Do you think the CD Marsh, KC, could the Chiefs win next year? Win it all. I'm talking about.
Could the Chiefs?
Yeah. Just could they win? Yeah.
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Baltimore.
Yes.
Okay. I missing anybody?
Cincinnati.
They missed the Vikings.
Well, no, I'm just doing AFC.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, KC, Buffalo, Baltimore.
Probably wherever Aaron Rodgers goes.
Houston.
No.
Probably not, but yeah. Okay. Philly?
Yeah.
Detroit?
Yeah.
No.
Green Bay?
Yes.
No. Minnesota?
No.
Washington? With that defense.
I don't know why I thought Huskies. I'm like, Washington Huskies?
No. They're not going to the NFC.
I got so
Michael
confused.
Penix Jr., Washington Husky.
I'm glad that you
might
brought up the NFC South. Tampa.
No.
Okay. So we're 3 deep with the AFC.
The Rams.
We're 2 deep.
I think the Rams could win the NFC.
No.
I do.
Not when Matthew Stafford gets traded to the Vikings.
He got traded to the Vikings?
Why the hell would they do that?
Yeah. Marsh
I don't
doesn't
think
know.
they should do that.
All right, so I don't say it's a dominant conference, but I completely agree with what you said there, Texter, that I don't think anybody's beating the Eagles last night.
You want to read that? Yeah, read that one.
The 417?
Yeah.
Okay, so we did have the
417?
the seal as a seal. I don't know if you saw that, Anthony.
Oh, that was interesting.
Was a seal.
Yeah.
The seal was a singer
commercial.
Was an actual seal.
It was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen, but it was
I don't know
quite
how much
entertaining.
they paid him for that.
But they had a guy walking around with a cowboy hat, but he actually wasn't wearing a cowboy hat. His head was shaped like a cowboy hat.
So weird.
It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
I did see that one. That was weird. And he looked at the TV and
yeah.
He
was riding on the subway.
Was it?
Super weird.
I think it was Tubi.
That's always great too. You can't remember what the actual that commercial was funny. No idea what they were pitching me. But
what was the company that they had a lot of commercials last year, and we were like, what is this? It was like
Apple.
No, not Apple. No, it was like a clothing company or something. Or they had like all these different things, but I'd never heard of it. No,
Kohl's.
Orange logo. I know the text line can help us out, but I didn't see any of those this year.
No, they were bankrupt because they spent so much on the commercials last year in the Super Bowl.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. Who has the best shot in the NFC to dethrone the Eagles besides nobody, since they're the best team ever? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey Davis for Scrap Mart Metals, and if you're a contractor or you own a business that needs recycling, my good friends over at Scrap Mart Metals can help you. They're tailor-made for your business to help you meet your schedule and your budget. At Scrap Mart, they understand that job site cleanup for contractors is often a mess, but if you set up a business account with Scrap Mart to recycle that metal, it'll be one less thing you'd have to do during cleanup. You'd be amazed at how the scrap metals add up and how it can help your business's cash flow. If you own heavy equipment, it breaks down time and time again. Eventually, you're going to have to end your suffering and get it repaired, get it removed. Scrap Mart will come and get it out of your way. They'll haul your equipment to one of their locations and get you a check the same day. Or if you want to haul it yourself, they have 3 convenient locations: Valley Park, Peevely, Jonesburg. If it's metal, they will buy it. Batteries, electric motors, steel, cast iron. It is recycling made easy. They offer a convenient drive on scale, and they have the highest payout. You'll always get top dollar for your scrap metal. So go to scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas can talk to you about setting up a business account to get you rolling. That's scrapmartmetals.com.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. 507 your time check brought to you by Collection Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Who in the NFC is the best shot to dethrone the Eagles? Carey, as we've been discussing throughout the course of the day today, you, my friend, were all over the Eagles, and you've been that way for quite some time now, like a month. So,
appreciate that.
The obvious choice is the Lions. I thought if Philadelphia were to have gone to Detroit, they would have had a difficult time beating the Lions. After what I saw last night, I don't think you could have combined, like the 85 Bears with the 2000 Ravens with the greatest show on turf and beat the Eagles last night. Like that was just a complete dismantling of the Chiefs. But for you, is it still the Lions with the best chance based on their roster and their construction and who they have on their top end players? Are they still the best team to knock off the Eagles a year from now?
Yeah, I do like the Lions. I like what they have. I think the question that I would have is, what do they look like with both of their coordinators gone?
Yep.
We kind of saw this after the Eagles went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Both coordinators left, and they started out the season pretty good, but then they stunk towards the end. So for me, implementing a new offense, an entirely new defense, unless, the new coordinator wants to keep some of the same principles, but normally they want to bring their own terminology and their own thing to the team. So that to me is going to be a huge issue, or could be a huge issue for the Detroit Lions coming out of the NFC. I did like the Packers. I think, I don't know if you saw this, Josh Jacobs said that they needed a number one. I don't think he should have said that, number one receiver. Talking about the Packers, and the receivers were a little bit frustrated by that. I think
I don't blame them.
The receivers or Josh Jacobs?
I don't blame the receivers.
Yeah, but I wondered if that came from the quarterback. So you never know. There's some issues there. The Minnesota Vikings, what are they doing at quarterback? I don't know. I have no clue.
J.J. McCarthy.
Nah, I don't know.
Aaron Rodgers.
Probably not.
Okay. Kirk Cousins.
Definitely not.
Let's just not put those two guys associated with that team.
Kirk had a nice run with Minnesota.
You hate this.
He did. Emphasis
he did really
on
well.
did.
He was outstanding. You hate this team. I don't know why. I mean, it's kind of weird. But I said the Rams could potentially.
I don't hate them.
No, you do hate them. You said it. I said Rams. You said that's a dumb answer. I was like, well, Anthony, that's harsh. Like, wow.
Did you even listen?
No, I don't actually.
I think I might have said it.
I don't listen. I hear what I want to hear, and then I make up the rest.
It's a dumb answer.
I do. I think the Rams could be a team that could surprise some people in the NFC. They had a pretty good season this year. They obviously are moving on from Cooper Kupp. But their defensive line, they were extremely young. They got Defensive Player of the Year, Jared Verse. They got, Braden Fisk, another defensive lineman out of Florida State. Like, they were a really talented team on the defensive side to be so young, a team that we thought with Aaron Donald retiring that they would take a step back, but they actually played extremely well. And I said it earlier, you got a quarterback and you got guys that rush the quarterback. You're halfway. You're more than halfway there as a team. So that would be a team on the NFC side that I think could potentially, I might put them ahead of the Lions because I just don't know what they're going to be with their new coordinators.
Wow.
I think the Lions are going to take a step back.
Yeah. What about Washington? I know they got trucked in the NFC Championship game, but you got to figure that defense, they got the quarterback, they're not paying the quarterback.
Yeah.
You got to assume that the defense is going to get better by the fact that they were so bad at times this season. It is an assumption.
And that's the problem for me.
It's less. Okay, let me ask you this then. Is it less of an assumption that Washington's going to get better on defense? They can draft. They can bring guys in. They can invest resources in it. Is it less than an assumption that Washington is going to get better on defense? Or is it more of an assumption that Detroit is going to be just fine after losing both coordinators?
I think it's more of an assumption that Detroit will be just fine.
Okay.
I think.
So you're saying that Washington getting better on defense is less of a question?
They could, but maybe not. Bobby Wagner is close to my age, feels like. He's been playing a long time. He's getting long in the tooth. He might be in his 30s. I'm old enough. I'm pretty old, Anthony. He's 34. Not that old, but he just feels like he's got a lot of miles on his body. But they did get healthier on the defensive line. Like they had players come. Jonathan Allen came back later in the season. He was out for a majority of the year. They got a pretty good defensive line. I don't know. I feel like I don't know if you can get better that quickly on defense. Mm-hmm. And I think they had some holes there.
So nobody's better than the Eagles, and nobody will ever be better than the Eagles.
And then I think also on the offensive line for the Commanders, I think they could use some upgrades there as well. But all in all, I think it's the Eagles and everybody else.
Okay. There you have it.
Eagles and the Rams in the NFC Championship game.
You heard it first. Eagles and 49ers. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. I think you sell the 49ers short.
I heard Vikings.
Oh,
the Vikings are going to be playing a rookie quarterback. No, he's not a rookie on the field, but he's a rookie on the field, if that makes sense.
Oh, there was one team that did the same thing. They went to the AFC Championship game and then decided to go ahead and go to 7 AFC Championship games and win 3 Super Bowls and then get blown out.
5:13 on February 10th. Marshy compares J.J. McCarthy to Patrick Mahomes.
You kind of did.
He did. He just did.
He did win a national championship.
Blake Corum on the team.
It'll be a great trade piece for Matthew Stafford. No.
Marsha's just going to keep going to that well. Maybe
there are rumors right now that is a thing.
How and why and when?
There's rumors going on.
Why would the Rams?
Why would the Vikings start over?
Matthew Stafford looking for a new contract.
For a year it makes sense, but why would they start over?
Anthony's kind of strange.
This is a team that has never won a Super Bowl. Okay, you have a lot of cap space to potentially go out,
Sure.
bolster your offensive line, and then you bring in a proven Super Bowl winner to quarterback your team and throw footballs to Justin Jefferson, the best wide receiver in the league.
Marsh, I think
and then the next time I wear that jersey and that helmet, I'll be feeling a lot better.
Okay, good. Good. Get a playoff
It's
team.
all hypotheticals, of course.
Yeah.
Probably won't happen.
Okay. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. What does the immediate future look like for KC and Philly? Should we just go ahead and write the Chiefs off? Was it last night the last time we'll ever see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl?
No.
Some of you hope it will be. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey Davis, and fellas, it's almost Valentine's Day. Now, your partner might want you to get them flowers. Maybe they want chocolates, but they definitely want you to get Blue Chew because they want you to do whatever it takes to make your sex life better, and Blue Chew is your secret weapon in the bedroom or, hey, wherever you want to get it on. All you need to do is go to BlueChew.com. If you're ready for a great offer, here's one. How about free? BlueChew.com. Consult with a licensed medical provider and get your first month free, and then you'll be ready to chew it and do it. Blue Chew is an online prescription service. No visits to the doctor's office. No awkward conversations. No waiting in line at the pharmacy. The best part is it ships right to your door in a discreet package, and you will have it, and you'll be ready to roll. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers will work with you to find the right ingredient, the strength for your prescription, and Blue Chew's tablets are made directly in the U.S. and will prepare and ship directly to you, so it's cheaper than the pharmacy. You can turn oh no into oh yes. BlueChew.com.
What's immediate future? What is the immediate future for Kansas City and Philadelphia? Well, I think we can start with the easy part. The easy part is the Eagles. I mean, you're locked and loaded for next year. You got the quarterback under contract, Saquon's under contract, and the defensive line that just helped you bully the Eagles or the Chiefs last night, is all intact. They're all young guys.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Eagles have to do much of anything when it comes to having another chance to win next year. They're pending free agents. Josh Sweat is one of them. Actually, you know what? I was saying some of the young guys, they actually got some defenders that have pending free agent status. So Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, and linebacker Zach Bond. So they got some move. They got some decisions to make.
Zach Bond will be back. I think he signed a 1-year deal going into this year, if I'm not mistaken. But the way he played this year, he's all pro. Like he will be back on a decent contract. He did a fantastic job for that defense.
What a pick he had.
Yes. Great job.
You know, there's certain moments in the game, and look, the Eagles were crushing them, so I don't think they had an opportunity. I don't think the Chiefs were going to come back in that one. But the last moment, I think I even texted you guys this. The last moment where I felt if the Chiefs are going to get back into it, it's going to be now. Mm-hmm. It was when they were down 17-0. They got the ball on I think it was the interception, because that's why they were backed up. If I remember correctly, they got the pick, they were backed up. Mm-hmm. But I thought if they could even just get a field goal before half to make it 17-3, they would have gotten some momentum. You had halftime, and then you come out in the second half. If you could put a drive together, maybe it's even 17-10. It's an entire new ballgame. Just as I was texting that, Bond was diving for the interception, and I said, "Never mind."
So yeah, I thought that part was funny because you must have been like maybe 5 to 10 seconds ahead of my screen.
Oh, really?
And with the people that I was watching the game with, I looked at my phone real quick because I knew what you had said, and then it said, "Never mind." And I looked up, and I go, "I'm feeling an interception right now."
Did everybody say Marshy had a vision?
No, they didn't. No, those other ones were legit. This one was fake, and
and you admitted it too, didn't you?
Well, I had
because you're a nice guy.
I had to.
You're a good guy.
Man.
Yeah,
Anyways.
but I did say later in the game on the strip sack fumble, I said, man, I can feel, because the Chiefs needed to make something happen. Mm-hmm. I did say I feel like there's another turnover coming. And then it led to a fumble.
Well, that I didn't help you with because I actually missed that. We were driving home.
You were out of there.
Yeah.
No, Anthony, I was talking to you in the second half.
Wasn't me.
Anthony wasn't there.
No, I think, looking at the Eagles roster, I think they do have most of their guys. Brandon Graham is probably going to retire. I think he's 37 years old. Yeah, I doubt that he gets another contract. So that's one contract that's up. Josh Sweat, you're going to have to re-sign him. You're looking at that. He's going to command some money, especially after that game he had in the Super Bowl. He might be a guy that ends up walking because you don't have, the space, or you don't feel like you can pay him.
Yeah.
But Zach Bond is going to get paid. Mm-hmm. Like I said, he's 29. He'll be 30. He's the captain of that defense. He had an outstanding year this year. And so he deserves to be paid. And then offensively, most of your guys are locked up. Mekhi Becton was a guy that they brought in who had an outstanding year, moving him from tackle to guard, moving him inside. And so you're probably going to end up having to pay him. But, after that, you're looking at all of your skill guys. They're still under contract for at least the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Now, maybe Saquon comes and says, hey, I'm 28 years old. I'm getting close to that year. I would like to restructure my deal so that I can get a little bit more money,
right.
These final, 4 or 5 years. But all in all, A.J. Brown is set. We talked about Jalen Hurts. He's set. Devontae Smith is set. Like, these guys are under contract, and they're fine. So the Eagles are in a good place for their entire team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Chiefs on the other side. I guess it's easy what the direction is. It's just how do they get there? And Carey, I thought you brought up a good point earlier when you had mentioned, they kept trying things, and it finally caught up to them, is what you said.
Yeah.
And you were talking about kind of the running game overall, but I view it as the offensive line. the Chiefs have been that team, not always, but have been that team under Andy Reid that has said, if we could just develop the chemistry along the offensive line, we don't necessarily need first-rounders or guys that, are big-time free agents. Like, we just need to have a unified five-man, we just need a five-man unit that plays well together.
Right.
Clearly this year, it finally caught up to them. I mean, at least some of their issues offensively throughout the course of the year were due to that offensive line. They didn't have they lacked a deep threat and all that, but Rashee Rice is going to come back, assuming he comes back full strength. You don't need another wide receiver. If you want to go a route where, you transition a little bit, if Travis Kelce does retire, okay, fine. But you need to bolster the offensive line, which I know I'm not going out on a limb after the, Eagles didn't even need to blitz you to harass you last night. But what other things do the Chiefs absolutely need? The defense, a couple of tweaks here and there, but that's a young defense, and you're pretty solid at all three levels. But if you don't bolster that offensive line, I don't know what other avenue you go to really make wholesale changes.
They need to. It is the offensive line, and I'm looking at the contracts. Juwan Taylor is owed $27 million next year.
Wow.
So he's probably not going anywhere.
Does he have Kirk Cousins' agent?
I don't know. Maybe he knows some things. Know somebody. It's a lot of money owed to him for him not to be at an elite level that you need him to be at playing that position. But it is offensive line play. You got to get better, and you have to put Tooney back inside instead of playing left tackle. That was an unfortunate
left tackle.
That was unfortunate for him because it just doesn't look good, and he's getting a little bit older as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's offensive line for me. They'll get Rashee Rice back. I'll be interested to see how they figure things out with the running game. Is Isaiah Pacheco your guy going forward? Because this is his final year, I believe. He'll be a free agent after this season. He's a seventh-round pick, so there's no fifth-year option for him. So, there's some transition for this Kansas City Chiefs team and how they want to go about it. But they still have their two main players. They have Chris Jones and they have Patrick Mahomes locked up. And Travis Kelce is on the final year of his contract. Doesn't look like I wouldn't be eager to sign him he's 36 years old.
Yeah.
You're getting towards the end of it. So, I think he's going to play one more year and finish out. I wouldn't
play out the stretch.
Why the hell would I leave $18 million laying on the side of the road?
Because he wants to go to concerts and stuff.
His girlfriend's like multi-billionaire, so
podcasts and stuff.
Keep making money.
Yeah, okay.
If they paying, you keep playing.
Yeah, that's true.
I also wouldn't want to go out that way either.
No. You mean looking completely disinterested?
Yeah.
I don't think he was completely disinterested.
Well, either way,
do you remember the one?
I think he loves football.
Do you guys remember the 2-point conversion in which he didn't even get his head around on the ball?
Well,
no,
everybody's trying, man.
Do you remember the one where he didn't even get out of his stance and he allowed Brandon Graham to?
I do remember that one.
He was trying. He's trying.
Yeah, not hard enough.
Okay. Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah. I don't know what game you were watching, Carey. The one that you accurately predicted, almost to a T. All right, we got Bet the Board next here on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey Davis, and if you are having any car-related issues, then my friends over at All Things Appearance can help you. They can cover all things auto-related, from small scratches to major body work, whether it's standard maintenance, detailing, ceramic coating, paint, dent repair, collision repair. Even if you've had hail damage in the past, they can get with you and get you together. The owner, Jeff, will work with your insurance company and your warranty company to make sure that you're getting the best price possible. All you need to do is go to allthingsappearance.com or give Jeff a call at 636-248-5051. That is Jeff's personal phone number. He is the owner. He will be the one that is contacting you, reaching out to you about any repairs that you have, anything that you need done. And that number is not only a number you call during business hours. You can call that number on Saturday evening. You can call it Friday night after you get off work. It doesn't matter. Jeff will get back with you. He will call you and contact you and get you in and out as quickly as possible. They also offer pickup and delivery, and in certain situations, they can offer towing when necessary. So give them a call today, 636-248-5051, or reach out to them at allthingsappearance.com and let them know Carey Davis sent you.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. If you missed anything from today's show, including our Super Bowl 59 coverage as the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Kansas City Chiefs 40-20, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. That's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. The Blues over the weekend took down the Chicago Blackhawks in a shootout, 6-5. The final, we touched on them a little bit today as well as your St. Louis Cardinals. We'll discuss more Cardinals, more Blues tomorrow. But coming up next, we have our Bet the Board picks. We'll go over how we did this weekend. Spoiler alert, it was not good. Bet the Board next, right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Bet it.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, I'm Anthony Stalter. Time to bet the board. And as Marsh just teased in his Sports Center update, we didn't do well over the weekend. Marsh put together a parlay for the Super Bowl and hit 2 out of the, 6 or 7 legs?
7.
7 legs.
7.
We all lost?
We all lost. SGA, you had points, rebounds, assists. Did not hit that 41.5 mark that you were looking for. He did get 40, though, on Saturday, but still would not have hit.
Should have just taken the Eagles money line.
You should have. I know I did. Not
You did
take
not.
that. So Jamie lost as well, I'm assuming?
Yes. Connor McDavid did not get a power play point against the Colorado Avalanche on Friday.
All right, so Marsh, what do we got for standings then?
All right, well, nothing's really changed since the last time we did this. Jamie's still leading with 4 points. I'm right behind him with 3, and you, Anthony, are tied with Carey with 2 points.
Hey, Anthony.
Hey, Carey.
Good to see you here.
You as well. Let's do what we did last month, shall we?
Sure.
Let's make a climb. All right, Jamie texted me earlier. He had a similar idea to what Carey did recently. He's going to take the Washington Wizards plus 11 against the Spurs tonight.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Good choice.
He thought
Can't lose them all.
You can't lose them all is what he texted. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I like it.
Well, there's no hockey, no football, no baseball, but there is the sport of basketball, of course. Jamie went with the Wizards, plus 11. Could be a great pick.
Could be.
Could be. Emphasis on could. I'm also going to go with the NBA. Give me Dallas and Sacramento under 237.5. The last 5 matchups that I'm looking at here have all hit the under between these two teams, dating back to 2023. In the last matchup for the Dallas Mavericks, they played Houston, also hit the under of 228. Sacramento hit the over in their last game, but I'm not looking at that.
I'm only going to look at stuff that
benefits me.
Benefits me. Yeah.
Yeah.
You taking the Mavericks and who under?
Sacramento.
Oh,
237.5.
Something happened with this Warriors game here. You know, it was just at 7.5, then it went to 6.5, then it locked. Couldn't do anything. Now it's back at 7. Strange, Anthony. Some strange things going on there, huh?
So somebody pulled it off the board because there was
something
injury?
happened.
Maybe?
I don't know. I'm kind of nervous.
Kind of.
And I was gonna go with my my guy, Steph Curry, and the number went up. I don't like it. So give me Luka Doncic plus 42.5 points, rebounds, and assists in his Laker debut.
Okay.
Luka Magic. That's what they call him, Anthony. I don't know if you know that.
Well, he don't play for the Magic.
Well, they call him Luka Magic. You know, because he's like a magician. They do have a guy that played for the Lakers that they call Magic, so I guess he got to find a new nickname.
And then Shaquille O'Neal used to play for the Magic before playing for the Lakers.
Yep. They call him
Did you guys find it funny that the NBA switched their broadcast to cover the Lakers game the other night, thinking that Luka was going to make his debut, and then he didn't play?
I didn't see that.
Yeah. I don't think LeBron played either. So it was like primetime ESPN.
Did Bronny play?
I don't know. I actually think he got hurt in his G League game over the weekend. Maybe. Saw him jump, fall right on his back.
That's not good.
He was on the ground for a little bit.
I was watching something that said the Lakers' other draft pick from this year, Dalton Connect, wasn't passing Bronny the ball.
Oh, really?
Well, he's not on the team anymore, right?
No. Well,
hey,
he's back.
He's back.
That's probably why he wasn't on the team anymore.
You don't listen, do you?
Yeah.
Dalton Connect. Okay, I will take. You know what? I'm going to go to Carey's game.
What?
Utah and the Lakers. Give me the over 236.5.
You stay away from my game.
That's a pretty big number, 236.5. But according to Carey, Lakers will not play any defense. I'm guaranteed that, right? Am I guaranteed that the Lakers won't play any?
Yeah, well, those two won't.
Okay.
No, those is defense optional.
Okay.
They'll be back there yelling at the referee for a missed what they deem a missed foul call.
Gotcha.
And then the Jazz will be 5-on-3.
Uh-huh.
It's hard to play defense when you got 5 guys. But then the Jazz will probably miss that three-pointer that they chuck up.
Okay.
And then you got Luke and LeBron down on the other end. Just wait. Woo, hey, cherry pick. You know how that goes, right? You call me cherry pick another day.
I was wrong when I said that.
Oh, okay.
You're talking about Jalen Hurts.
No.
Clearly, I now understand the error of my ways.
Now, the 314 says, hey, Austin Reeves dropped 45. So the viewers did get to see something.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who knew?
See, this viewer was tuned in. Marsh? Yeah, it's not all about you, Marsh. And what you want to see. Okay? Some people want to see Austin Reeves.
Some people want to see a 40-22 blowout in the Super Bowl.
Carey did.
I did.
Yeah.
I was happy about it.
But Carey wanted to make sure that he was proven right.
I did, actually.
I don't blame him for it. I was hoping the same thing.
Yeah, I did want to be right.
Because one of us was going to have to eat crow today, and unfortunately it was me.
Yeah. We got a text from 314. This is not basketball related, but it is concerning.
Okay.
I think we need to address it.
All right.
It's very serious.
Okay.
I noticed earlier that CD is so invested in the Dodgers that when he was talking about the Cardinals, he told Anthony, in quote, your Cardinals.
I might have.
Oh,
I might have. But I think I was being a little snarky. Yes, you know.
That doesn't sound like you. I think you meant it. But on a no. What's it called?
Self-serving? Self-absorbing?
No.
Self-conscious?
Nah, when you...
Self-centered.
Subconscious. Subconscious level.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
Didn't even realize it. Because they're my Cardinals when they win. They're
of course.
Everyone else's Cardinals when they do stupid things.
Naturally. Yeah. All right. When we come back, what we learned, criticisms and compliments, as well as 3 stars of the day. That's all next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Tomorrow morning, I'll head out to Mentality. 2 different locations, one in South County, one in Chesterfield, and I look forward to it. I look forward to going to Mentality. I get to see same faces each and every week, talk about my health and talk about how I'm feeling. And when you get on the program with Mentality, boy, you see a difference right away. If you're dragging constantly, guys, if you're not, when you go home, you're not ready to play with the kids or, dive into whatever the household stuff is. Not that stuff is necessarily fun, but if you don't have the energy for it, go down and see the fine folks at Mentality. They're board-certified physicians, will ask you very easy questions about how you're feeling. Maybe you're frustrated all the time. Maybe, you got constant mood swings. Bottom line is, if you know you're not at your best, you're not at your peak, talk to the people at Mentality because they're going to make sure that when you jump on their program, it's specified to you. Most insurances cover the cost of the program. But the bottom line is you're going to feel better. And if you're chasing, supplements that don't work or you're constantly doing like the new fad diet, stop. Go to Mentality. You'll start to feel better. You'll start to sleep better. You'll wake up with energy. You'll, have no issues throughout the course of your day, feeling at your best. And once that happens for you, you're going to want to continue to stay on that program because flat out it works. It works for me. It works for Jamie. It'll work for you. Tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you down there. If you want more information, lowtusa.com. talk to them what they could do for you about what low testosterone does and how it impacts you and how you can make it work and make it and fix it for yourself. It's Mentality. Miss anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast. It is available at 101ESPN.com or your Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. The podcast brought to you, as always, by the Schaefer Door Company. Carey Davis, what'd you learn today?
Well, I learned if you keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket, you can win the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
You knew that, though. You just wanted to repeat it.
Well, no, I learned it. I learned that it was correct. I also learned that you called yourself the off-brand Italian Olive Garden version.
Yeah, it's because I said...
That's a bit much. Yeah, you're authentic.
Look.
Well, I also learned, I got three things, that when people talk about Olive Garden, they only talk about the breadsticks.
Thank you.
Man, they're good, though. They're good.
So I said it like today, right before the show, I'm like, man, I got to apologize to Nick Sirianni. I called him the off-brand Italian, which is basically Olive Garden. I got to apologize for that. I'm the off-brand. And both of you were like, man, they got great breadsticks. And I'm like, why do people only talk about the breadsticks at the Italian place?
They're that good, Anthony. Huh?
Never heard anybody
Unlimited
say
soups and salads, Anthony.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
March, what'd you learn today?
I learned that Nolan Arenado is actually not at spring training.
Oh,
Yeah.
Marsh. Did learn that.
Yeah.
What's your deal?
What are you talking about?
Well, he's not.
He's
at
not
home.
there. Yet.
Anthony?
But he will be.
As a Redbird.
Yeah.
He'll be in Jupiter. The Red Sox in Jupiter? Are they in?
No, that's the Miami Marlins.
Yeah.
No, I mean.
The Red Sox are in Fort Myers, Florida.
They're in Florida.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll play
Not
each
far.
other.
Yeah.
There you
The
go.
Red Sox and Twins play in Fort Myers, Florida. I learned that even if I send the group and Carey text messages saying that I was happy for him. Congratulations. You were right. I was wrong. And then I come on the airwaves and I talk for a full hour about how Carey was right and I was wrong. And I've never been more wrong about anything in my life than what I was last night. Carey will still say that I didn't offer him any congratulations.
I didn't say that.
You basically said that. You read the text message.
Those weren't my words.
No. You read the text message, our text message from the Air Comfort Service text line.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, well, hope Carey's getting his roses today.
Yeah, I was just reading the message.
And Anthony's eating that crow. And Carey's like, yeah, you guys all called me stupid and this, that, and the other thing. Basically, what I learned today is Carey will just make crap up.
And I, like Michael Jordan said, and I took that personally.
It never happened, Mike.
In my mind, it did.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. All right. Marshy, what do we got for criticisms and compliments?
Yes, let's go to the 314. If there's one thing the Super Bowl taught us, is that Carey Davis is smart and knows football.
Thank you.
And Stalter doesn't know anything.
Oh,
well.
That's true.
That's harsh.
No, I deserve it.
You know things.
I deserve it. I was terrible. Basically got nothing right.
Well, you chose what some deem is the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah, I kind of got no apologies for sticking with that.
Yeah. I kind of told you that was going to happen.
What's funny is you asked me very leading questions in which I also agreed with you that the Eagles were not only the better team, but they were clearly the better team.
Yeah.
And I said to you, I don't care about your facts or even my own feelings. Go Chiefs.
Yeah.
And
you're defiant.
Yeah. Hard-headed, stubborn.
Yeah, it happens. Man.
You appreciate that about me. I know
I do. Yeah. I'm the same way.
Yep. 2 peas in a pod.
Yep.
All right. Speaking of pee, Don Pee from the Snake Pit says that I am as pale as the pale one. I think he's referencing Jackson.
Oh, I thought he was referencing BT.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Probably would have made more sense. Yeah.
Maybe.
Nah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Marshy.
But Don Pee also says that he's on the show once every 4 months, not to blame him, and that, he can only do 4 hours of this show a day, which is great because it's only 4 hours.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, it seems to work out quite well for Don Pee.
Yeah, and Zoosh says, me too. The show is awesome and the time slot is perfect.
Oh, thanks, Zoosh.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, pal.
Yeah, so maybe the Don Pee will come back.
Maybe.
Come on back.
Come on back. Some people, they say they come back and they never do.
Right.
Maybe they come back for a day and then they
sue.
Haven't seen him. Unfortunately.
Or maybe they offer Carey Davis $1,000 if he could be nice for 15 minutes. And then
he does. And
he does, and they never
doesn't
come back.
get paid.
Still waiting on my money. That's harsh.
Where's my money, man?
And now we're getting Tanner as the pale one. Are we all pale? Like, I feel like I'm really hot right now.
Dead of winter.
Is it supposed to snow again this week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Man.
It's coming back. It's rain Wednesday or who knows, man.
Who knows? Who really knows?
Man.
The weather people kind of know. They have a good idea of these things.
They do a good job despite being crapped on constantly.
They do. It's one of the worst jobs for people that just talk bad about you.
Say, hey, here's an estimate of what the weather could be based on all of our data and this, that, and the other thing. You don't know what you're talking about, you idiots.
Yeah. Then it doesn't happen. Told you it's stupid. I wish I could have that job and be wrong all the time.
Right.
It changes based on percentages and
right. And then they update us on that.
Yeah.
And then we yell at them.
We're a rude society.
Terrible life, those weather people.
Yeah.
You guys ready for the 3 stars?
Yeah.
We're going to give our 3rd star to a real hockey player, Dennis Marouk.
Didn't know who he was. Didn't think he was a real
Carey,
person.
you flat out said.
Marshy couldn't pronounce his name, so he's not real.
Yep, flat out said that.
Yeah.
This guy can't be real, Carey said.
Clearly, he's one of the better players in Washington Capitol series.
Ever, Bob.
Yep. Yeah. For that one season.
Yep.
Second star of the day goes to Anthony's Chiefs fandom. You had a good ride. You had a good ride.
Yeah.
Be back next year around December, January.
No, not December.
Yeah,
Just January.
Yeah.
And February. Maybe.
Waterboy brings up a good point. Wrong all the time, like how Anthony was wrong about KC. A job where you're wrong all the time, but enough about Anthony. Wait, that was a little b-hole. You guys were on the same page there. Congratulations. Do you see how I offered some thought and consideration of the weather people? You guys just decided to kick me when I was down.
It's crapped on you.
That's tough.
That's a tough living, man.
Yep.
First star of the day, gentlemen, goes to that alien that got his head stuck.
Thank you.
Gotta see
If
that.
you haven't seen it,
Pizza rolls commercial.
yeah.
Okay.
You haven't seen it yet, have you?
No, I have not.
We'll watch it when we're done here.
I think it's pretty damn funny. I gotta be honest. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody tuned in throughout the course of the day today. We got an instant replay coming up. Got some college basketball over the next, tomorrow at least. My UConn Huskies taking on Creighton.
Oh, they're out of the top 25, Anthony.
I know. We got to get back in there.
Yeah.
They'll turn it back
They're not
on.
going to win the national championship this year.
Why not?
They aren't. You can't win the national championship if you're not in top 25. I think.
What?
This sounds right.
It does actually sound right. I'm sure it's not.
I'm sure it's not.
But it kind of sounds right.
that.
Yeah.
Have you made it to the tournament outside of the top 25 and then won a national championship? It would be like a 8 seed.
You would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe. I don't know.
Again, sounded right to me. For Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, for our guy, Jamie Rivers, down in Mexico, I'm Anthony Stalter, and we will see you.